A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Good evening, A2D family, and thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory Live here at A2D Radio. Can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. We are joined by some pretty awesome guests tonight, so I am very, very excited. Now, tonight's show is brought to you by our doc, Dr. Paul Vidal. He's our doc, make him yours. Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. You can find that at Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Or what is it? SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com, I guess. Jesus.
There you go.
Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton locations. My Lord. Also check out our gutter guys. They are the gutter guys of South Jersey, Ambuck Services, AMBUCK Services.com. Give them a call at 856-879-5530. And, of course, you can check out all of our A2D merchandise at PhillyDrinkers.com, Philly Drinkers LLC. You can check them out on all of social media. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. I am very excited. Thank you, Frank, Ryan, Jake, and, of course, Mr. No Notes himself, Tom. Thank you for tuning in tonight, guys. These guys, I'm pumped. I know some people are heated. Some people are a little excited. We're all over the place because the Eagles, of course, keep our emotions all over the place. So I hope you guys are ready for an intense night. All of your questions and comments are welcome. So keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. So I just want to go around the room, just say what's up. Ryan, what's going on tonight, man?
Jimmy, good to be with you. It's been a little bit. And listen, I think we're all surprised given, let's look back about a month ago, maybe even 2 months ago. And there was a lot of concern and questioning on if we'd even get to this point to where we would be, 9 days away from a season? Less than? You know what I'm saying? What is it, 8-9 days, it seems like, to where I'm really excited. Obviously, now we were talking right before the show went off, and we were saying, it seems like half the team's already out with injuries before we even stepped on the football field. But listen, football's back. The stress, it seemed like a couple weeks ago, it didn't even feel like football season was upon us. But every time we jump here and we start talking about it, the juices start flowing a little bit. So it's good to be here. Awesome.
And glad to have you here. And you're right. It's nice. And I'm just finally getting that taste. I'm I'm still a little shook. I don't know if it's surreal. So we'll find out. Jake, my co-host, my partner in crime. How are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good. Happy to be here. Big show tonight. So excited to talk about it. Let's do it.
Awesome. Frank, how you doing tonight, brother? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing great. It's been a while, all decked out for College Color Days, supporting my alma mater, Western Kentucky University. I'm glad football is coming back. I mean, despite all the injuries, I'm just glad that football is back in this crazy state that the world is in right now. Let's talk about
it. Love it. Thanks for tuning in. And, of course, Tom, what's going on tonight, brother?
What's up, boys? Listen, just excited to jump on and talk about all the Hall of Famers that were released throughout the last couple of days and just dive into it. Just dive in the greatness not on this roster right now. I'm excited to talk about it. A lot of running backs released that were future Hall of Famers, and we go to the wide receiving core, and then you start hearing, some guys released that guys had, they had big camps. Camp's been like a week and a half. So, so I'm excited to dive in and crucify some people tonight and get up in some feelings. So good to be here, Jimmy.
Love it. And that's one of the reasons I wanted you on here tonight, because some of the first shows we had you on, we talked about taking everything with a grain of salt. What do people do? Oh, they lose their minds. This guy made the greatest catch one time in camp, and now he is going to the Hall of Fame. Now, one of those positions where people were losing their mind over, and we talked about there being some competition. And I honestly have to thank you, because throughout these last couple months, I actually have in the back pocket, thankfully, the ability to say, I was like, my buddy Tom actually brought up a very great point. We might just be riding with 3 running backs. Don't be surprised if these training camp superheroes turn out to be duds. And it's not necessarily the fact that they're duds and they're not good players. It's just when you look at this roster, you look at what's going on with training camp and what we need for week 1, it kind of makes sense. So glad to have you on tonight, Tom. I know that there are some definite strong feelings in the A2D family about a lot of these positions. So can't wait to get into the 53-man roster projection. We're just going to kind of breeze over some of these positions that we've talked about, but figure we'll start off with the poll question. Now, the one thing that scares the living hell out of me, we've been talking about running backs, linebackers, all this. Well, now the offensive line. Of course, we've lost Brooks. Now Dillard, so we don't even know if he sucks or not. So, yeah, right now he's just in the sucks category. So we're all pissed off, and hey, it's fantastic. Well, we have a Hall of Fame left tackle. And he decides, you know what, I'm going to stay at right guard. Doug Peterson says in a press conference, I don't even know where the dog's coming from, actually. He, he's at right guard, and we don't want to move people from where they're comfortable. He's comfortable, within a week or two at right guard. More so than, the Hall of Fame years he's put in at left tackle. Okay, Tom, why don't you start us off with this one? Do you think Jason Peters should swing over to left tackle without getting a new contract? That's something that he should have discussed, right? Before he signed. It just is pissing me off because now Matt Pryor seems to be the one that's going to start there. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling. Listen, you come in before you sign the deal, bud. Who's your agent? Maybe fire him immediately then. Okay, so before you do the deal, okay, then ask for left tackle money regardless. You're coming back, yes, to play right guard at the time, but you've been a left tackle your whole career. So ask for left tackle money. Okay, I know people want to tell me, oh, Tom, he deserves it. Okay, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve left tackle money. But then address that in your negotiations before you sign the deal. That's 101 negotiation. So now we talk about, let's fast forward 2 weeks, right? And then, hey, Dillard goes down. Now it's like, okay, well, our best left tackle that we would have on our roster is at right guard, correct? So now you look at it and go, well, the obvious thing to do when you talk about the blind side of your quarterback is now shift your best tackle to left tackle. And then ask for more money, to me, is selfish, okay? And I got zero time for it. I understand guys want to make money. Make money then. But you got to do it before you sign a deal then, all right? Because you got to also understand if he goes down or doesn't get the job done, who do you think door they're knocking on to go play left tackle? It's yours, Jason. That's what door they're going to knock on. So for you to be like, oh, my God, I can't believe they're asking me to play left tackle. This is unbelievable. Well, I better ask for left tackle money. Shut up, okay? Sign that money before you come in the camp then. All right, before you accept the deal. You don't have to accept the deal. But you wanted to play somewhere. You want to continue your career. And why not here? We're all for it. I wanted them back, okay? Regardless, just to make us deeper. Okay, and now look, we need them, and now we're going to go Matt Pryor and Jordan Mailata. Grow up, okay? Grow up. Now it's like you almost want to get your quarterback assassinated, okay?
Yeah.
So we want to get him assassinated in week 1. Chase Young is getting Adrian Peterson cut, okay? Because he's just dominating everybody up front over there in Washington at every practice. And I'm not a practice guy, but when you just flat out just show me you're like a 5-year vet already on a couple plays, right? I'm going to then say, all right, week 1's going to be a problem. So Matt Pryor's going to get there. My quarterback's been banged up a lot of his career, okay? I gave a lot of money to my quarterback. If my quarterback and my defense aren't right, I'm not good enough. So do you want to win a Super Bowl, Jason, or you care about a few extra dollars to go play left tackle? And for Doug Peterson to come out, I love Doug. For him to say, oh, well, he looks good over there, but he looks better over there. Shut up. Now he's pulling. He's going to look better pulling. Gets banged up all the time. Now he's pulling on plays. No. I know he's not a great left tackle anymore at this point of his career. Put him back where he's comfortable. The footwork's different at right guard. And if somebody wants to come in and debate me on that, I would love to school you, okay, because the footwork's different. So now something you've done your whole life is drop left foot. Okay? Your entire career has been drop left foot. You're going to the Hall of Fame, and you're going to drop your left foot right into the jacket. You understand? It's drop, jacket on. Okay? That's how it's going to work. So now you're dropping your right foot. So you're telling me that's going to just, that muscle memory kicks in a couple weeks, people? And that Matt Pryor or Jordan freaking Rugby Mailata is your left tackle?
Yeah.
Bet you made, Howie Roseman. It's the bet you made. I don't accept it. Because now my quarterback, I'm telling you, he's like me and COD because I don't play it a lot. So when I go in, I'm just getting spiked all the time. Like, ding, 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 ding. That's what it's going to be like. Okay? And nobody out there, Corey Glenn, I mean, freaking stinks. Okay? Nobody out there is any good. Left tackles just aren't hanging out there. Oh, go get one. Who's giving one up? This is what I told you guys. Yelled and screamed, and everybody's like, oh, my God. When I said about Big V, just bring them back. Bring them back because you never know. Oh, okay. Fine. Yep. That's your GM. That's your GM. Sorry, I just had to get that out. I'm so sick and tired of Howie Roseman. I'm just disgusted by the flat out amateur hour and a Mickey Mouse company he's running when it comes to draft day. Okay? Because this team's in a lot of trouble next year. We can be all woo this year. This team's in a lot of freaking trouble next year when it comes to this. A lot. So we're just going to sit back and act like, no, now it's time for our picks to pan out. Right? We're talking about left tackles that, I like Matt Pryor at guard. Okay? At guard. I can deal with Matt Pryor. Why are we putting him at tackle? It's like when people, when Peters got hurt in the Super Bowl. Oh, move Lane over there. No, that's not what you do. You don't hurt two positions. But now we have two positions that are we comfortable on? Real quick, boys, and then everybody else go. But are we comfortable at right guard right now? Yes or no?
No.
Are we comfortable at left tackle? Hell no.
Not at all.
Now am I comfortable with Jason Peters? Yes. Am I comfortable with Matt Pryor? Yes, but in the positions that they played. Just because Matt Pryor's a swing guy doesn't mean he's going to be good at left tackle. He played left tackle millions and millions and billions, almost billions of dollars, it feels like, in the National Football League to protect your quarterback. And that's who we have out there. I get going against Chase Young. That's just one, and there's plenty more in this division that are coming to eat and on this schedule. So if we're all cool with that, that's fine. But that's a selfish move by Jason Peters to the poll question, and he absolutely should go to left tackle. Get a clue, Jason. Sign it beforehand then. That's it.
Yep. I love it. Because, we were all aboard bringing JP back for depth. And exactly, you should have known. I mean, we all knew you were going to provide that depth in case something happened. Well, guess what? Something happened. So what you said, what I'm afraid of is watch him get hurt. And then we're screwed. And then Matt Pryor has to move back to right guard. And then you have to put someone like Mailata or Prince Taker and I'm already scared with Matt Pryor left tackle. So like you said, you got to switch him up, Chase Young. I love it. Frank, how are you feeling about the poll question?
Oh, geez. Not the right time to ask for more money, JP. I mean, yeah, you've done a lot for this organization, but geez, what a boneheaded thing to say right before the season. It blows my mind that, yeah, you're getting comfortable at right guard, but you spent your entire career as a left tackle. So I don't get the logic behind it. Like, just go to left tackle, please. Just move Pryor back to where he needs to be. And I'm not comfortable with Pryor at left tackle. I'm sorry. But
are you comfortable with him at right guard?
I'm comfortable with him at right guard. We saw what he could do at right guard.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some moments of brilliance. Yeah, he was a late round pick. And he was behind Brandon Brooks the whole time, so he did get coached up by him over the course of the past. Was it 2 years now? 2-3 years since we had Pryor on the roster.
Yep.
So for me, Pryor needs to be back at guard. Move JP back to tackle, and if JP doesn't work out back at left tackle, then Prince Tega, Jack, your turn to step up.
And it's like, like Tom said, it's not going to be Cordy Glenn. You're bringing him in for some depth. I saw someone say, like, oh, he started 86. Let me tell you something. He started like 5 out of 6 games last year. He started, 13 out of 13 the year before, and then 5 out of 6 the year before that. And then before that, it was like 11 out of 11. You see the pattern here, guys. He starts getting banged up. That's what we already have going on. And the guy's not good.
And he's a turnstile, Jimmy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You want a turnstile out there? Yeah, I mean, we're not allowed to have fans right now, but if you want fans to access easily, just put him out there.
Yeah.
He's a turnstile.
For real. And it's like, son of a
Corey's career was like, he mostly played for Buffalo and Cincinnati. Both haven't been great teams in the past during this past decade. So
I feel like I've seen Andy Dalton get crushed in the blind side a million times. So
They've had a bottom.
Yeah,
They've had
he's
a
not
bottom
good.
5 offensive line the past
Right.
6 years.
and
You know
where's
what
that
I'm saying?
start? And where's that start? That starts at left tackle. That's big. That's
Absolutely.
it. A franchise
Yep.
left tackle. This is a joke. This is amateur hour. I can't believe we're having this conversation this close to the season. I can't believe that this crumb is not playing left tackle. Okay,
It sucks.
what is
Sucks.
everything he's done for the organization? What has he got pictures of Jeffrey Lurie? Right? What has he got pictures on him? I mean, every time he came back for 2 years, probably too long. But I'm still good with him. I'm still good to make him deeper. This is a joke that he won't move to left tackle.
It is.
I need a couple more dollars. This organization gave you more dollars for the last 2 years. So where's your loyalty back to your teammates? He's like a Le'Veon Bellish. You know what I mean? Little crumble
Couldn't agree
off.
more. I
Yeah,
hate this kind of player. I hate it. And it's like, I get it. You know, there was like, get your money. And look, I'm all about getting your money because the team will do the same to you. But right now, you know what you're doing to this team. Are you really going to send our quarterback out to pasture with Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan coming for us, and fucking Matt Pryor at left tackle? You're shitting me. Jake, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the poll question. Should this son of a just move over to the left tackle?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with me and I think everyone else here on the panel, it's a no-brainer, Jimmy. And do what the guy's been doing for relatively his entire career. He's going to get a Hall of Fame jacket at some point, and it's just selfish. That's all it is, plain and simple. It's selfish. Because if you look at it this way, theoretically, I'm with Frank on this. I'm fine with Pryor at right guard. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with that. But picture this: you have Peters, Sayamalu, Kelsey, Pryor, and then you have Lane on the right. It's not great, but it's solid. It'll get you through it. Now
We've won games with him before there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Just like
exactly.
We've won games with Peters at left tackle. We've won games with him with that same offensive line, left to right before. So, to your point, Jake,
That was the starters last year at the Seahawks.
just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
It's bullshit.
it's a no-brainer, and obviously, I can guarantee you, Jimmy, and just for everyone here, at some point, I think it's going to happen. Like whoever's going to be at left tackle, it's going to be a turnstile. It's going to be a mess. Carson's going to get sacked 2 or 3 times. Then they're going to have to move Peters into left tackle, and then you'll see probably, I'll say like 5 minutes into the next game, you'll be like, can't do it. Hurt. Can't do it.
Oh, he got hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt. He's out for the next 3 weeks.
Ridiculous. It's
Or 3
like-
plays.
Yeah.
Exactly. He doesn't miss games. He just misses extended periods of time in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Great
That's
point.
He's like, nah, I'm tired. I'm going to fake an injury. Give us a timeout. That's it.
You know, and someone said about, giving him incentives. What do you think about that, Jake? I mean, is that something? It's like, that's bullshit. You, like Tom said, you should have already figured that out, man.
Yeah.
That should have, your agent sucks.
Yeah,
Fired.
exactly. And plain and simple, that's on his agent. Like, if you give him something with incentives, okay, fine. Then we'll have a conversation. But when you're asking for a completely new contract where you're asking to be paid like top 10 caliber left tackle money, that's on your agent. Plain and simple. That's just on your agent.
The bill says it. Who cares about left tackle? We're a goddamn quarterback factory. That's right. We use our second round picks on quarterbacks. Not funny. So we're all real and clearly. Ryan, my man, how are you feeling about this poll question? Obviously, I could see it in your eyes, man. Let's hear it.
It's funny, and Jimmy, I want to thank you for putting this as the poll question because we briefly touched on it at the end of Wednesday. And after we got done the show, it felt like we let off JP a little easy. And then we hear Doug Peterson talk about how he's actually more comfortable at right guard than at left tackle at this point. And they're comfortable with him at right guard instead of left tackle at this point, even though, like to Frank and Tom and Jake and your point from earlier, how can you be more comfortable in a position you've never played before as opposed to the position that you've played before and you've become a Hall of Famer because of how you played that position? But, it's funny because I mentioned this on Wednesday and somebody briefly touched on it in the comments, earlier, which, they're spot on. I don't want to say that I can actually, so I'm going to go there. I could argue that Jason Peters has been treated maybe the best out of anybody the last handful of years as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles as far as a player, to where nobody's been treated better. You know what happened? We'll give everybody a refresher. We always like to go back and talk about 2016 and obviously 2017 and 2018. Let's talk about
What's there to
27.
talk about? He didn't play. You know
Well,
what I mean?
that's
Not yelling at you. He didn't play. He didn't play.
That's exactly my point, to where he goes down with injury. We win a Super Bowl without him. And instead of the team disrespecting him, like I remember a lot of fans trying to say that they were going to do, or just looking into the future, we not only stay with him, we give him a damn extension. The year after we won a Super Bowl without him. On the flip side, and I understand this player I'm about to mention is not a Hall of Famer. Listen, he's a serviceable guy that we won with. The year that Vitae was our Super Bowl left tackle,
I knew
it. Did anyone hear him after the Super Bowl command for starting left tackle money since we won a Super Bowl with him?
Nope.
I didn't hear that.
Anybody
hear that?
Did not.
So, again, I'm not trying to compare the two because one is a serviceable left tackle / swing, offensive lineman. The other one is a Hall of Famer. But something has been lost here to where Jason Peters, while we can appreciate what he's done for this organization, Hall of Famer, Eagles legend, all of that is great. With everything bursting into flames around him on the defense, the wide receivers, the running backs, the tight ends, the friggin' quarterback factory, injuries all over the place. We talk about next man up mentality. We talk about how Jason Peters is supposed to be this quote unquote leader. You know what he does? Instead of talking about next man up, recognizing that, hey, not only do I realize this, but all the fans that aren't in the organization realize this, that Jason Peters was brought up to do two things in this new contract, in this new era as an Eagle. Be a right guard option and be insurance on the left tackle position.
True.
Regardless of injury of Andre Dillard or not. If Andre Dillard sucked in camp but was healthy, Jason Peters was getting the job. We all know that. And on the flip side, if he looked good, he'd be right guard. What was that, Tom?
We said it for 6 months. I mean,
Yes.
I said on numerous shows for 6 months. You're just bringing him back wherever he can play. Doesn't matter. Wherever you want to put him. You know what I mean? Put him in right guard. You want to put him in left tackle? Doesn't matter. But he's there to make you deeper. The fact of the matter is, and it doesn't even go any further than this. Why would you just not put your line left or right, like where they're all comfortable? It's just it's mind-boggling why we're overthinking this. Not us, but them as an organization. Like, why are you overthinking this? You're too smart in-house to overthink this. So the only thing that would make sense to me is he's not getting his way, and he's not going over there. So Jeffrey Lurie just said, no, just have him stay there, right? That's what happened here, okay? Because I'm going to say it again. And Rye said it, 2016, 2017, right? Banged up. So you gave him money every year after that, which were banged up years as well. For what? I have no problem with it. But don't act like you were shortened here, right? Or somebody took advantage of you here.
He's made over $111 million in his career. He's 38 years old.
What's the difference of money, right? What's the difference? What's the difference of, what's it, $1 million? $2 million? I mean, what's the difference? I mean, listen, $1 million, $2 million, I'll take it. I'm not telling people to not go for another $1 million or $2 million. I'm just saying address it before you sign the deal then.
Exactly.
And then now you didn't, which is fine, but to go back to the table again is a disgrace because you've gone back to this table so many times, and this table just been sliding money across the fucking table to you for years now, okay?
A couple weeks.
So now, I hate to say this, now it's shut up and play where they ask you to play. That's how sports go. You don't play where you want to play. You play where the coach thinks you should play.
About it.
Truth.
This prima donna shit's getting old, and it's not even him acting like he's just trying to act tough. Like, oh yeah, I deserve money. It's like, shut the fuck up, and like Tom just said, get your ass over there because literally this is football. You are a brotherhood. You literally sit there and you say, damn, what would be the best of my ability? What could I do? Well, I'm a fucking Hall of Famer at left tackle. Maybe I could move to left tackle. Wild idea.
Who's this? That's how he walks around. You know what I mean? That's how he walks around. All right, like everybody's gonna be scared of you. All right, I know you're the bodyguard. But you haven't been much of a bodyguard, and I love you to death. But you haven't been much of a bodyguard the last few.
He's been the bodyguard of the bench. Honestly, or the hospital bed, or the couch.
And right when he's played, he's been good. Right when he's played, he's been solid. But again, I'm not taking shots at guys for not playing. But all I'm saying is it's an organization, like everybody else has said, has done so much for you to continue your career and to make more money. And I'm all good with it. But right now, and Jimmy said prima donnas. This is what sports are becoming. Like, you play where your coach thinks is the best spot for you to play. That's how it goes. Like, that's what good teammates do. When did it become, I'm not sliding over until I get more money? What? I wish I could cut him on the spot, and I love the guy. I would literally cut him on if I didn't need offensive lineup like this, I would cut him in a minute, right? For not doing what the coach thinks is best for this football team. So if Doug thinks he's best at right guard, this is the first issue I've had with Doug Peterson in his tenure here. The first, because we ain't going to see eye to eye unless Matt Pryor is freaking blocking out the sun at left tackle.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's crazy too, and this isn't Joe Schmo saying this, because anybody could make this projection. I hear Trey Thomas the other day when I'm in the car talking about this. And obviously, we know what Trey Thomas has done in this town, and obviously in football. So that I'm gonna respect his opinion. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be friggin'
gospel,
exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he's gonna talk about this and he's gonna be as confident as he was when he was talking about it. I mean, there's gonna be alarms go off in my head. And he was talking about to where he honestly believes that if JP's not getting paid, he could see one of two things happening, if not both. Number one, to where he threw out the scenario that, say, for example, Matt Pryor or Jordan Mailata, the first 2 weeks is the left tackle, and they absolutely suck. To where week 3, they go to JP and they say, okay, we need you. And he says no.
Cut him.
Or two, even worse to me, is that he stays at right guard, and because he didn't get his money, he could see a situation where we don't see maximum effort with JP playing right guard.
Mm-hmm.
So are you telling me that unless this guy's getting paid, he's holding this team hostage to where, hey, if I get a bad, a little sore ankle, I'm going out, or
bitch move.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're not wrong. He's done it his whole career, and and it wasn't even about money. So what makes us think now that when it's about money, that he's not going to fake a little injury talk, right? Come off holding something, like Jake was saying earlier.
Of all people to do it to us, too. What the? I'm blown away by this, man.
Listen, I can't say enough times. This is the definition of prima donna, right? It's like, hey, my name's prima donna. That's what it is. And to be at this point for $1.5 million, that's your quarterback. How much you care about him back there? How much do you give a rat's ass about him?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not happy about this. I was like Rye said when we did the show Wednesday. I was like, oh, whatever, man. And then it just sat with me longer, right? The more I think about Matt Pryor, Jordan Mailata, myself, Frank Vespi, Jake Friel, Jimmy Smith, Ryan Brodo at left tackle.
Yeah.
Okay, I start getting nervous because this is Philly sports. Okay, I almost got crystal ball talk with it, right? If that's not situated, or Pryor's not good enough, we're in a lot of trouble.
And it doesn't matter what weapons or lack of weapons Carson Wentz has if we can't protect him. This is another.
Look at the Browns, man.
Exactly, Jimmy. You took the words. You're spot on.
Yeah, Baker's not as bad as he looked. He's got a shit kicked out of him last year.
Yep, exactly.
I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's great. I'm just saying
just give him time. Yeah,
I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's good. He's got beat up on him. Now Carson's bigger and stronger, and we do have like a solid line. I just can't believe it's the poll tonight. Not the it's a great poll. I mean that we're having this conversation.
Exactly. I was like, do we want to talk? I'm like, yeah, I want to talk about
when your best line is Jason Peters, Salomalo, Kelsey, Pryor, Lane. Hello, McFly. You know what I mean? Like, hello. Yeah. I don't know how this is an issue. I can sit on a chair in a garage/studio and tell you what your best line is. This is when things become a problem. Like, not that I'm not smart, because I can probably outcoach Doug too. But I'm just saying that when guys can sit home and see it from afar, and they can't see it, it's either conspiracy, which is money, right, or idiots. One of the two. I feel like it's not idiots in terms of Doug. Another story about different day. Doug, I don't feel like I've never had a problem with Doug. I've been Uncle Doug, right? Anything he does, it's like the Bible.
I feel bad for him, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Now,
Being put in
this
this
has got to be
position.
money from conspiracy from Jeffrey Lurie. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Exactly.
Oh, that-
Don't you think Doug would probably cut him like you said, right? Like,
Yeah,
would
what
that be
you say? You're not playing where?
later? You
I
weren't
didn't
even
ask
going
you
to be
play
here, dude.
quarterback. I didn't ask you to play quarterback. I told you to swing over left tackle. I feel like you played there a
Where you
couple times.
played? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few. Freaking jerk off.
Man.
It's a jerk off move. I'm telling you. If I'm guys on that football team, I'm not happy. Right? If you're
Of all people
playing,
to do it.
put yourself in players' positions sometimes, right? I think it's like the best thing to do is like take a step back and say, if I'm Lane, right, and I'm Salmalo, whatever, and I'm like, what? He ain't gonna have tackle. Like if I'm Carson, I'm home talking to my wife, like, do you believe this guy? I gotta trust this guy, right? Like I'm saying, like, how are you not? How are you not like, man? I get it's about money, but why didn't he address it beforehand? And he's really not going to go to left tackle over a few bucks?
Yep.
Wow.
Right now, weeks before with shortened training camp with only young guys at depth. Thanks a lot, dude.
And who's got more reps in their career at left tackle in a shortened season that you would trust more, Jason Peters or Matt Pryor in the National Football League?
Yeah, dude.
Like, I mean, come on. We want to put guys in the best positions because of no preseason, etc. We want to make it as easy as possible. Everybody wants to make things harder. Oh, shake it up. No, make it as easy as possible, and you're going to get success. You try to throw it all around. Oh.
You're going to get mistakes with young guys, and that's what we talked about. Some of these guys that everybody's freaking out about in training camp, you're going to see going, and we've talked about this because of the fact, and they've already been gone because it's just these guys that are on the team still right now competing, 10 guys still got to go. It's because they know the system. Now, there is a couple young guys competing at defensive end and some things, but, like Tom just said, they know the system. And it's bullshit that Jason Peters knows left tackle, a very important position. You got to think, come on, Carson, like you got to be calling him late at night, doing something like, hey, JP, what is it I got to, whatever he's got to do.
What do I gotta do?
Exactly. I feel like this is one of those things where it's like one of those horror movies where, you make a wish like, ooh, okay. They give you the wish, but it's bullshit in some bullshit way, like, well, we got JP back, all right. Now the asshole's the one that's the cancer in the locker room that won't move to left tackle. Now everybody's just like you said, how do other people feel about this, Frank, how do you think other players in this locker room are feeling about JP doing this?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, because the job.
No, you can tell. You can give it.
He's asking you if you were a player, how would
If
you
I was a player.
How would you feel about JP doing this right now at this time?
I would feel like it would be rubbed off the wrong way. Absolutely.
that's it. Yeah,
I'd be peeved. I'd be peeved.
Yeah, that's all you have to say. You don't have to get into like what you think players think. I mean, that's
I misunderstood.
Just tell me how you feel, brother.
Ain't nobody
I'd be peeved.
nobody trying to slit you. Ain't nobody trying to split you here. We love you. We ain't trying to cut you. We're just putting you in a position. You're Isaac Salmalo. How do
I
you
don't want to screaming, be fired! I don't want that to happen.
Oh, we're bringing this up again.
Oh, Firegate.
What is this? Like
I missed the fire.
Third night in a row that we referenced him and the screaming.
Does anyone know if the bartender got fired yet?
Oh, Christ almighty.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'll ask Bob tomorrow if he can join at any point.
Okay.
Message about it.
But you know what's funny, Jim, and that's a great question, because if I'm a player at any position, I'm pissed because now you're messing with my money. Because again, we always talk about the chain reaction. We know that quarterback is the most important position, arguably in all sports. So we get that, but you can argue the second most important is the guy who is in charge of protecting the most important position, and that's obviously left tackle Jason Peters.
You don't have to argue it. It is.
It's true.
So you look at it to where, okay, if the left tackle sucks and the guy who can play left tackle and make it go from being awful to serviceable and or average to good, and he says, no, I'm good. I'm not getting paid the additional $1.5 to $3.5 million that I really don't need, that I'm probably just going to gamble away. I'm just going to then just stay right here at right guard. Now I look at it, okay, the quarterback's not getting protected. And if I'm a wide receiver, okay, if the quarterback's always getting on the ground, he's not passing the ball to me. The right guard, or I'm sorry, the running back, if the line's not 100%, that means there's no lane for me to go for. The tight ends. And then I look the same way on the defense, to where the offense is struggling, you know what that means for the defense? More
Chain
time on the
reaction.
field.
Well, I'll tell you something about the defense, right? Since we're having a conversation real quick, and then Jake say what he feels, how he would feel, you know. But there's a guy on the defense who's playing safety right now, right? Who came back on a 1-year deal. So if they ask him to move the corner at any point, which I don't think they're going to need to, but if they did, guess what he's going to go do? He's going to go move the corner. He's not going to get in a hissy fit. Well, hold on. But now you're setting a precedent. If you give this guy money, now you're setting a precedent that anytime you want to do something as a coach that you think's the best for your football team, now you got to go back to the table again? Are you freaking kidding me? But this guy would just go play corner. He's not going to go up in a hissy fit because you know what? Because you know why? Say what you want about him. He's a freaking winner. There ain't no privilege when it comes to Jalen Mills. That's a winner.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want. People don't have to like him, etc. When that guy plays, our football team is better. That's the facts. You can look it up. I'm just guaranteeing.
He's finally playing a position that he's going to excel at, so I'm excited for him.
His emotion rubs off on this football team in a really good way, right? But my point is you can't set a precedent of going back to the table because you're playing right guard and they need you to play left tackle before a season. You can't set a precedent of, a guy's safety, I need him to play corner or whatever. He's a middle linebacker, I got to move him to outside linebacker now. He's a D tackle, but I'm going to make him play D end. So now everybody's going back to the table. Everybody, he's a slot receiver, but he's going to play outside. so people,
even Adrian Killens, I want my practice squad money to be receiver.
Yeah, like the people out there, that's how this is going to work in the National Football League. So every year, if a change has to get made, it's like, hold on, better get right, and you know what I mean, before I go anywhere. It's like, what the frick?
The JP, he said it's not a good precedent for a leader, a guy that's been a leader. And you guys brought up great points by saying, look at what we've done, especially after winning a Super Bowl without him. So, Jake, how do you think these players are taking, this, and how would you feel if you were one of them?
It's just a slap in the face because if you're a team guy, theoretically, you want to win as many games as possible, right? So you move Jason Peters to left tackle, it gives you your best chance to win. And John brings up a phenomenal comment as well. Is if, say, you give JP money, what does Zach Ertz do? Because obviously we know earlier on in the week the conversation with Zach Ertz was put on pause because the Eagles, quote unquote, lowballed him. But again, we'll probably get into that discussion later on. But it sets a bad precedent. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And like Tom said, if you're the quarterback, it's not a good look. But again, you're not going to grill the guy on the media and stuff like that. You have to be a leader. You have to be like, I respect his decision and stuff like that. But my last point is, and Tom hit it right on the head. If you're going to complain about your money and you go to management or your job or whatever, be like, I want more money. They'll be like, all right. And then it creates a chain reaction, right? Then everyone's going to want more money. Be like, well, look at my numbers last year. Well, you only played 1 year, but look at Peters. He's only playing 1 year. He got more money, so why can't I? And then it just creates a whole trickle down effect. It's a mess. It's a complete mess.
True.
It's horse shit.
True. Mm-hmm. It is, and you can't have enough adjectives. You can't say enough about how much shit has been thrown all over us.
It's terrible.
And the Philadelphia
I could
Eagles.
get banned from doing shows on my own platform with the words I could use right now.
Yep, truth. I hear you on that, Tom. It's like this is us trying to be calm.
Like I could fire myself. Like
I love it.
All right, I should get Brinkman to stream it again.
I love it. But John has a great point here, guys.
Yeah. Let's read some off. Yeah.
Yeah. So, John's talking about Ertz here, and Jake just kind of alluded to it. What does this, this impacts other players, and you're looking at, no big deal. Most of the time, you wouldn't think much of a big deal of a few mil. But when you're $84 million in the hole next year, and you're hoping to get every dollar you can from this year to roll over, we have 24 right now, that kind of hurts. And then it affects those other players, especially some of these younger players. And now you're teaching them these things. So most importantly, we heard that, Ertz was someone that they were talking to this week. And the contract negotiations, abruptly came to a halt. And, the media tries to get people fired up. But the thing is, he's pissed because a guy like Austin Hooper, who has the same agent, is making more money than him. They're lowballing him, and they're letting people push him around. Holy shoo! Frank, why don't you lead us off on this one? How are you feeling about the whole Zach Ertz situation and what they're doing there, lowballing him? What's your mindset on that?
You need to give Carson Wentz security blanket an extension. I mean, I know people are saying, "Oh, we should trade Ertz. Oh, Dallas Goddard should be the number one." But for the past several years, we've seen the two tight end system work in our favor. We have one of the best, if not one of the best tight end tandems in the league. So you need to give Ertz his extension. And yeah, it is going to be tough. We are $50 million in the hole. You can find a way to restructure that money to give him that extension he wants. So with that, you need to extend Ertz.
You could also help yourself, right? You could restructure it and backload it. But that's what he was pissed off about. It was too much backloaded, right?
Yeah, it was too much backloaded. And, looking at the contracts going into next year, what's getting us into this hole to begin with, a lot of those contracts you can restructure. Most of that hole is the Carson Wentz extension. If
that's
Carson
a big one.
Is willing to restructure
already.
Then,
Freaking right guard won't move the left tackle over a couple dollars. Now Carson's restructuring. Right. You know what I mean? Not yelling at you. I'm just saying this is what the shit's going on in this complex. It's a mess, then. It's a mess. We got a guy who won't move from right guard to left tackle. We're asking the quarterback to restructure for his best friend to come back.
Yeah,
I mean,
I doubt that will happen, but
I think next year they could ask him.
Kiss my ass, I would tell him. Kiss my ass.
I would tell him if I were him.
For more guaranteed then. Then I want to renegotiate for more guaranteed money then. You can take a couple of them. I mean, I'm back at the table with my agent. You know what I mean? How many times you gotta do this?
That guaranteed.
I could see the conversation now because I could see both sides of it. The organization would say, "Hey, are you willing to restructure that way we can keep your number one target, Zach Ertz?" And on the flip side, in Carson's thing, I could in his perspective, I could see two kind of layers. Number one, hey, you absolutely butchered the offensive line situation. Yes. You had somebody refusing to play left tackle to protect me because they wanted a couple extra million. And oh, by the way, that pick in the second round that you could have used to ensure my safety, you used for a potential replacement of me.
Anywhere on the football field, though. Forget about
it.
Like, you're right. Any position. You have to be an offensive lineman.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
anything other than a quarterback.
It could have been a running back.
Fucking anything.
Exactly. It could have been a running back to take pressure off of Carson.
Could have been a fucking assistant coach, right? Could have been a damn assistant coach. And I'm like, we drafted an assistant coach in the second round. That's an interesting move. You know what I mean? Like Urban Meyer out of retirement to run our offense a little bit. Like, okay. You know what I mean? If not, shut the hell up. Anything else should be a position that's a need. It's a need.
It could have been a damn kicker, and we would have been like, "Oh, Jake Elliott, hot seat!" Like that would have made more sense. That would have made.
Yeah, and I still would have kicked somebody in the face for that too. You know what I mean? I would have kicked somebody in the grill for that. So
it's the truth. But anything, exactly, any damn position could have been drafted on that. I mean, we talk about that every show. I think because it's such bullshit. Cox is getting paid too much. That's another one. Cox, he could restructure. There's a couple guys that definitely need to restructure next year. Lane Johnson could be one of them.
Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks is another one.
Yeah, Brandon Brooks has to. And Brandon Graham. I mean, there's a bunch of guys.
Malik Jackson.
Yes.
Deshaun, another one.
Well, you could probably cut D-Jax and Alshon.
Yeah, you could trade or cut. But I think trade, I doubt trade will happen with Alshon. Yeah, I would look at the offers for Alshon.
See how he does.
What about Deshaun?
Deshaun,
because isn't he on a 2-year,
he'll save you like $6 million
deal? Yeah, he'll save you at least $6 million.
But you know what's crazy too, and on the Fletcher Cox thing, and Tom and Frank, you guys know this already from Wednesday, so I'll ask Jake and Jimmy. Last year. Because the Fletcher Cox comment's perfect. Do you guys know how many sacks he had last year?
3.5.
It's like 3 or 4.
3.5.
Sure.
$100 million. 3.5 fucking sacks. 3.5 sacks. He should be seen every play. I should hear his name. You know how they call it the name who tackles somebody? I should hear his name every time on a run play. I should be, oh, Fletcher Cox with so-and-so. Fletcher Cox with so-and-so. I should hear it on a loudspeaker a million times, especially with no fans. So now if they're bringing in the noise and a little bit of Fletcher Cox on the tackle, I should hear it over the broadcast 100 times a game. 100 times a game. 3.5 sacks. I don't care who's playing next to him. I don't care who's playing next to him. $100 million. You get off IG, stop going in DMs, and get me double-digit sacks.
Yeah, stop getting phone digits and let's get some sack digits. I love it, Tom. Yeah, let's stay out of those.
Oh, you mentioned Fletcher, right? I got you. I get excited. I'm not happy, even though I still have the Eagles as a Super Bowl contender, right? I'm not happy, as you guys can tell tonight. I'm not happy.
You're right.
And I'm not happy with how this is constructed right now.
And you're right. People talk about it, and it's like, oh, you had people like Huggins and, Rush. It's like, I don't give a shit who was playing next to him last year because he is literally a premier, elite defensive tackle. And I understand, he's coming back from injury. Well, then don't come back. Get healthy. Stop doing this shit. Come in and dominate because that's what we're used to, and that's what you're getting paid for. And if you don't do it this year with those kind of guys next to you, well, what the are we paying you for?
And let me make something clear. I'm not out on Fletcher Cox. I love Fletcher Cox. This is how I treat him. And when I treat him like this, he goes to work for me. So I know my guys. I know how to motivate my own. And this is what I'm doing. All right? Because last year's unacceptable. He played really well down the stretch. He played extremely well in November and December. Not running from that. Okay? He let his presence be known. Now, the sacks didn't come, but he still let his presence be known later on in the year. But now,
sacks aren't everything.
Now sacks aren't everything, but I mean, he should be walking into 6 or 7 though this year. Easy with who's around him now because he's not going to get as many looks. But still, there was times last year where he was dominant. But my point is, when you're getting paid that much, I need to hear you as many times I hear Aaron Donald in the broadcast. That's all. Because I hear his name like 1,000 times.
Yeah, yeah, and it's BS because. Yeah, we don't even have to go into it. I love what you're saying because it's true.
I love you. You know what I mean? I love you guys. I love you guys,
brother.
So
that's why I love having you on, man. Every time, and it's like, if you want, it's like if I want you on every damn show, dude. Bring that heat, baby. Let me feel it. And it's I can't ever, and I thank you all the time for it. But I try to give you a shout out whenever I mention it. There you go. But no, for real, you hooked me up with getting to interview Trey Thomas with Jake, and that was awesome. And we really got some insight, and I think he really has some great things to say. And obviously, like Ryan said, it's not that everything he says is gospel, but you learn a lot from a guy that actually played the damn position in the game. So I really appreciate what he said. So I think we all can agree that it's bullshit, and that JP should just play left tackle. But I would be interested in hearing your thoughts, Jake, on the tight end position. Zach Ertz, I know you kind of just brushed over it because you knew we'd get back to it, but I know you got some wild ideas here on the tight end position. So we're going to let Tom go in after you, but I would love to hear what you got to say about this contract negotiation with Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I mean, with the contract negotiation, I wouldn't be against extending Zach Ertz, but it's just like how much money and talking about the contract situation. It's tough, and you have a young and up-and-coming guy in Dallas Goddard, who I think, bold prediction-wise, I think he might have a better year than Zach Ertz, in my opinion, but that's just me.
How's that? Does Zach break something?
Maybe. You never know.
Did he break everything? Like
he's going to break records.
Body?
Records.
He had more production with a punctured rib. I mean, I just want to know. I want to know. I love Dallas. I know you love him. Go ahead. I'll talk to you. We can get too much into this.
No, but again, it's just gonna be. It's like a whole back and forth of the contract negotiation. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. He has 2 years left on his deal, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, you have so many ways you can redo the contract. I love Zach Ertz as much as anything, but it's just tough because, like we were talking about earlier, Jimmy, with his contract and everyone else's contract, we're over $50 million. So you're going to have to make some heartbreaking decisions this offseason. And I'm just saying, you might have that conversation where you might have to move on from him. I don't want to do it, but again, if you want to ease money off the cap, that's one of the easier ways to do it. But
okay. And Tom, what are your thoughts on this and what he just said about Dallas Goddard? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well,
Do you
there's
think
zero
that Dallas
chance in
Goddard
hell.
could have?
No, there's zero chance in hell that Dallas Goddard has more production than Zach Ertz this year, unless Zach Ertz is on a stretcher. There's a zero chance. Zero. And I think he'd have a very productive year, but there's no way he has more yards and touchdowns than Zach Ertz. I mean, maybe a touchdowns, maybe he could, because I think he's going to get better and better in the red zone, but I just don't. Yards and catches, no shot. Zero shot in hell unless Zach slept with Carson's wife this offseason. Zero chance. Unless Carson's baby Zach's, there's zero chance. Zero.
Oh, man. And I agree with you. Maybe in the red zone would be the only possibility. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, we're not saying that happened. I'm just telling you that's the only way it can. There's two ways.
Yeah, there's no way in hell. I agree. That's his man. That's his go-to guy. So, Ryan, what are your thoughts on this negotiation period they're going through here?
Oh, yeah. I give him the deal, too. I give him the deal. All right? Give him 34. Give him the deal.
Yeah, I've actually kind of switched on since Wednesday, because Wednesday I was saying, Tom asked the question on whether or not we would all, give him the extension. And I said no, just because I believe it's going to be really, really difficult given the whole cap situation to pull it off, especially when, we were talking about it to where I think we all have high expectations for Derek Barnett, for example. If he has a big year, you're going to have to pay him, obviously. Miles Sanders, we have high expectations for him. And I'm not saying we have to pay him this coming year, but you know how big-time running backs are, to where, they're going to command a bigger deal a couple years before their deal and, ends, especially their first contract. So you're looking, and I could probably go on a long list further than just those two players, where every year, to Tom's point from earlier, it's going to become increasingly more difficult to extend and sign our core. It's not going to be the same thing like, back again, I'll reference to 2017 to where, remember that list that came out to where here's the 25 players the Eagles have that are signed until 2021 to where everything looked beautiful. It looked delicious to where
2021.
Everything was locked up to where you didn't have to pay anything and you could just backload everything. Well, that time is almost here. So
40 million.
Yeah. Exactly. So I was saying on Wednesday, I wouldn't give the extension, but guess what? It's not the bet I made. Howie Roseman made this bet, so it's his job to figure it out. So if based off of talent, based off of what these two can do together, obviously Carson, Dallas, and then obviously the quarterback thrown to them both, they've been saying for 2 years, almost 3 years, ever since we got Dallas Goddard, that their plan is to work with this 2 tight end set. We've really never seen it due to injuries or any given reason they just want to throw into the universe. That's going to be their plan. That's going to be the identity of the offense alongside of guys being deep threats and extending the field. Okay. We talk about getting open. Zach Ertz, one of the best guys in the position to do that. So while we can obviously talk about, he's going to be older and he's the king of catching the ball and just falling down, all that's fine. But he works with Carson. He works in this system. And you can't. It reminds me of the JT Realmuto situation with the Phillies. To where he's one of your stars and you're disrespecting him.
Yeah, I don't know if they're disrespecting him. I mean, I know that they're going to be $40 million over the cap next year. I mean, I don't know if it's as much about disrespect as much about, trying to be able to do some things. Right. And I think that's more what it is. I mean, this is how negotiations always work. I mean, players don't accept usually the first offer when you're at his caliber. You know what I mean? You're always going to fight for a little more or fight for a little more guaranteed money or whatever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The deal's never made at first. The fact that they're in negotiations to begin with, right? And a lot of times negotiations don't happen during the season, but the fact that they tried some stuff during this process, they still were talking to him about it. You know what I mean? So it's not, to me, JT is like, we don't even know what was going on because nobody said anything. We know when it comes to the Eagles and Zach Ertz that they're in talks now. They're probably not for a little bit, but it's more like Jason Witten to me, and not in terms of the contract, right? In terms of like this guy can be productive until he's 33, 34. Like he can still have 80 catches at 33. Is Dallas Goddard ever going to do that? I don't know, but I still want to bring Zach Ertz back. I want to have as many weapons for my quarterback as possible, but I don't know how I do that. $40 million over the cap next year, and I don't even know what the year following is. right? So it all comes down to the guys I drafted not being good enough. And one, if Dallas Goddard showed you enough, right? Enough to say, yes, he's the next coming, then the decision would be easy. But I don't think he's exactly shown that yet.
No, I agree.
Some flashes, some running guys over. We love it. I think he'd be a tremendous player in this league, right? But it hasn't all came together yet, and that's some's opportunity. But again, like we saw, a drop touchdown. Right now, he redeemed himself, but little things like that, he needs to clean some stuff up before I'm ready to say, here's the keys. That's all.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with you because, Dallas Goddard is good, but we have, a guy that could break Harold Carmichael's record. This Zach Ertz is one of the premier tight ends, dude, and we're so lucky to have him. I mean, you want to keep, like Tom said, as many weapons as you possibly can, and it's actually $60 million that we're in the hole because
is that what
we're
it is?
84. Yeah, we're at 84. And if you take the 24, carry it over next year, it's fucking 60. It was 40, but now that they added the new CBA, they dropped cap money next year. So now we're more in the hole. Cannot wait. Makes me. Spotrac has us at 84 million in the hole next year.
How does this guy have a job? Right now?
2021's year. It's coming.
He's missed on four first round picks at least.
The drafting's horrible.
At least 3 in the last 3 years. He's missing on first round picks like crazy. He's missing on second round picks. Right? He's missing all around. This is the
taking quarterbacks.
This is the things you need to hit so you can let guys go. When you don't hit in the draft, you can't let guys go. They are screwed. This guy should have been fired the second they said $64 million. If I'm Jeffrey Lurie, I'm spearing his ass the second I hear $64 million over the cap. What are you doing to my organization? You jackass, this is what you're going to be good at. The things you're good at, you stink at now. So when you start stinking at the things I give you credit for, now it's a roast fest. I was being nice to you. All right, well, he's good at everything else. He's good at the cap, and look at him. He's great at free agency, right? He's good at putting a roster together, but he's not good at the draft. Well, guess what?
Yeah, you can't.
Your draft has came back to bit you in the ass because you failed. You have failed this organization. You have failed the key players in this organization, and you have failed the fan base. I don't want to hear about him winning a Super Bowl. I don't want to hear it, okay? That's a coach and his players going to win it, okay? He made some good moves and some trades. That's what helped this football team. Nothing to do with the draft, okay? I'm sick of it. He don't deserve that much credit. Half the key players were Chip Kelly draft picks, okay? I'm tired of giving this guy credit.
It was the players. It was the coach. You look at that system, and it was depth. It was people stepping up, and it wasn't the depth that he had. It was people that they were finding off practice. We were doing things because of his mistakes, and it's like, you can only give the guy like so much, and people, oh yeah, like definitely he helped us win a Super Bowl. He made some good moves, but when the negatives are so glaring, and you have to hit on the draft. When you're seeing teams like the Ravens, the Steelers, when they're just fucking. And they're so close to us. And we just get to watch everyone. Oh, did you see who we drafted? Oh, that fucking kid's awesome. And we're like, yeah, we got a fucking quarterback.
It's like us in Madden. Like, I feel like, Jimmy, if you put auto draft on, they would draft better for him. This was an auto draft. They're like, fill me, ding. We'd probably come out with, like, guys who can play.
Dude, I met him one day, and I said to him, hey, Howie, one day I shook his hand. I was in a wheelchair still at this time. Shook his hand, and I looked up at him, and I said, one day I'm going to work for you. What I was really thinking was, one day I'm going to take your fucking job. Because, honestly, this guy is out here, and it's like, okay, well, I would do this and this. And I'm not saying I fucking know anything more than the next guy. I'm just saying, like Tom said earlier in the show, if I can sit here and fucking tell you how to do your job, and if I'm hitting the nail on the head with things, and you're shitting the bed on things, well, then you might have a problem because you're getting paid lots of fucking money, and I'm just some guy sitting here telling you about it. So, holy shit, not good. After years of a shit show of you fucking up the draft, of you backload money to now, we're coming to 2021, motherfuckers. 84 million over the fucking cap. Woo!
Can I ask you guys a question?
Shoot,
Sidney
yeah,
Jones.
please.
Sidney Jones needed to be a stud. Derek Barnett needed to be a stud. Andre Dillard
saving grace.
A stud. JJ Arcega-Whiteside need to be a stud. I can continue if you guys would like me to continue, but if them guys need to be studs for you to be able to let guys move on, you have to understand at some point your roster will turn over. It's just how it goes. So you have to win in the draft. Derek Barnett. I don't know if I said his name. You understand? These guys all need to be hits. Dallas Goddard has to be a hit. Miles Sanders has to be a hit. I'm just saying names. All these guys have to be hits. These are early round picks that need to be studs and key contributors to your football team for us to want the success we want, which is Broad Street often, right? And good and a lot of high fives and smiles, right? I mean, that's what we want. I don't know the way
to have the foundation, right?
Yeah, there's no foundation. I am worried about my quarterback. Okay, I am petrified after this year for my quarterback. Jalen Reagor has to be a stud. You understand this?
For us to forget Shelton Gibson and fucking all the rest of them. You're right. Exactly. Tom said it. You have to hit, and you could keep going, dude. Go.
Who's he hit? Who's he hit? Miles Sanders? Tell me who Howie Roseman has hit in the last 3 years. Jalen Mills late? That was even longer ago. Right?
No, exactly. We're talking about early picks, which you have to be hitting on.
I'm talking about first and second round picks that need to be impact players. Right? If you hit later on, good for you. Good for you. You find a diamond in the rough. Right? But you have to hit the National Football League. That's big time money. And then so you're spending more money because the money slots in the first, second round cost you more money. So them guys got to not only be able to play, they got to be able to play right away. First and second round picks, first round picks have to play right away. Right. Yep. If you're a really good football team, sometimes second round picks just get in and stuff like that. But like, just think about it. You know what I mean? Everybody we draft has underachieved outside of like Miles Sanders recently. And it's 1 year. So I love Miles. I need more though. It's not Barry Sanders right now. I need more.
Yeah. So, wrong Sanders. Yeah.
I mean, Derek Barnett.
Exactly. We can't crown people way too early, man. And I love Miles. I know you love Miles, and that's Tom's not saying anything. It's just saying we need more, dude. Before you can just say, "Oh, great job, great job, great job." Yes, Sydney. We need a quarterback number 2, man. And Avante's doing okay, but now he's banged up. So now he's kind of had some struggles in camp. But I mean, he's doing well. But JJ Arcega-Whiteside has to hit because, dude. He is so screwed with all the rest of the picks that we've just mentioned that Tom literally went over a lot of them and could keep going. It's that bad. And, I'm somebody that, Howie, great with the money, man. He is. And that's great. But guess what? He was great because he was a thief. He fucking tricked us and he put it all into 2021. Now we're all like, oh, that's why he was so great. Because he got a Super Bowl out of it. But now for us to think, we're thinking dynasty, right? Right. So we're thinking after that first Super Bowl, we were like, we got it. We got this, man. It was our backups that fucking did it. Wait till everyone's healthy. And now this is what we get.
Well, Jim, Sidney Jones, Jay Acevedo says Sidney Jones sucks. We're going to find out. Right. You know what I mean? He says Dallas Goddard's good. What do we think about JJ? We're going to find out what we think about JJ. I still think there's hope for JJ. I just don't trust the guy who drafted him. Right. But I still think there's hope.
I think that. Yeah. I mean, that's a great question, right? I mean, you could definitely start us off with that, Tom. I mean, you know how I feel about Arcega-Whiteside. He had a rough year. Mike Rowe and Carson Walsh were shitty coaches. They're gone. We got Aaron Moorhead in there. Jason Avant is there to help these receivers. We're hoping for Arcega-Whiteside, right? So, I mean, what are your thoughts on him stepping in at the X receiver if Alshon Jeffrey's hurt to start the season?
I would assume the game's going to slow down, right? I assume the West Coast offense is going to click a little bit better in his head. They're just things I assume that happens to players in progressions if they want to get better, right? Yeah. So I mean, I believe the talent's there, and I think where he doesn't have to think as much and just play is going to be impactful. Sometimes wide receivers, don't start showing who they are to year 2 or 3. Other guys come in the league and right away they can be impactful. Other guys, it takes a year or 2. So I don't want to ever say last year that, this guy can never play in the National Football League. I think it's egregious. Now, is it a problem? Sure. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? I'm not happy about it, but I'm also not ready to write you off. So this is a big year, and I know any production is better than what he had, but I need 40, 50 catches production and end zones. Right, so I need 6 to 7 touchdowns. I just need to show that you can play in this league. enough. And then the show, whoa, from year 1 to year 2, look at your progression. Now I'm extremely excited about your future. Instead, if you come out and you lay a dud, now I'm really wondering it was all to speak, and maybe you're not good enough. By the way, Philly just won again. Let's go. Let's go.
Woo! Ring the bell, baby.
They are scorching.
In a row.
Love it, dude. 10 out of 11.
What is it, 10 out of their last
love
11?
it. Yeah.
Something like that. Yep.
Bryce, I saw,
love it.
whoever posted it from A2D, that was beautiful, that Bryce had said that, 10 games ago that we got to go on a streak, man. We got to win. So check that out on A2D radio. It was a beautiful post. Loved it. You got to love when these guys are feeling the passion. Maybe they're feeling that Philly fire because, we all love our other sports, but Eagles football is coming back, and I can't tell you how excited I've been feeling. It literally makes me so excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to be punching through the wall. Can't be waiting to tell every coach and player that I'm going to be suplexing them through tables and be pissed off, have a heart attack, go to the hospital, and then do it again the next week. I miss it. I miss it, and I can't wait. And Brian had alluded to it earlier, dude, so it just makes me happy. But Frank, we were talking a little bit. I'm not sure how much you caught of the JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Only Tom got to talk on it for a little bit. How do you see him coming in as one of the only real big-bodied guys that's played in this system?
Absolutely, yeah. There is hopefully. I hope he does step up. I know on Wednesday we were talking about, how many touchdowns is he going to score this season. I know. We kind of messed around with it and said that he was going to record 3.5. I had him get a little bit over. I think I had him at 4. So, he's definitely going to step up, especially when Alshon won't return as early as, I believe, week 6 because he's on the PUP list.
Yep.
So for me, I hope he steps up. I hope he gets that production that, we hope to draft tape at Stanford, apparently where Ralph says that Andre Dillard went to. But so we hope that, JJ is going to make the same those plays that we saw at Stanford. Mm-hmm. We hope he has the production in the end zone. I saw him as a guy who can make some of those fade routes in the end zone. So hopefully we can get a couple TDs out of him, but this is a big year for him to step up. If it doesn't work out for him, then bye.
Yeah, and Tom kind of alluded to it takes a few years. I put my life on the line. The first year I started doing this stuff, I said, it takes a receiver a couple of years. So let's see this Nelson Aguilar guy. And no shit, okay, he had a great year. We win the Super Bowl, all that.
Yep.
Well, I said at the end of the year, I said, watch this dude fall off. And I'm telling you, to this day, I feel like I cursed the poor dude, dropping babies out windows, people making fun of him, like the poor guy. But Arcega-Whiteside, I think you're about right there, Frank. Probably 4 or 5 touchdowns because there are so many weapons if people can stay healthy. But he needs to come in and, like Tom said, about 40, 50 catches to be, in my mind, productive.
Before I pass, he better get more than 4 touchdowns because I was told this was like a touchdown maker. You know what I mean? This was like JJ the touchdown maker.
He should be a red zone weapon for sure.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah,
like a 6-piece or 7-piece. That shows me a pulse. 4
I'm happy with that for sure.
I forgot who said it. I think it was
Jason Bennett. He was saying they should use JJ as like a tight end in the red zone. And honestly,
that will work best for him.
I've been saying
we need an X receiver.
Yeah. And you look at it too. I think that's where he's going to find his confidence early. Now, it's been well documented. I'm not a JJ Arcega-Whiteside guy. I think on Wednesday I said that his stat line would look like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like that's obviously better than last year, but that's not going to really do it.
I mean, last year some people had him go double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah, like
20. People are wild.
Yeah, but honestly, I could see them using him a lot. I think they should use him a lot in the red zone. And if he,
but you got Ertz and Goddard there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But the reason why I say that too, it's because especially when we talk about him being in the place of Alshon, at least for the first portion of the season, Alshon is that go-to. And we were talking about it on Wednesday. He's one of Carson's go-tos in the red zone, to where we would talk even in 17 in the last 2 years. And especially the last 2 years where he didn't have his Alshon, big-time seasons, he would still find a way to record points in the end zone.
Yep.
Just because he's that go-to target and because of the big body. That is the same mold as an Arcega-Whiteside. That's why I was crazy that, with all the hype surrounding him last year, the one spot we never saw any throws to him was in the red zone. That was the one spot we really and I get it. We talked about the lack of confidence from Carson Wentz throwing to Arcega-Whiteside. He was actually on the field in that position, so I get all that. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy, you could be right. So where sometimes it takes certain guys the extra year or two to figure it out. Nelson Aguilar is, I guess that example, especially for the Eagles, because you see year one, awful year to start the career, but then he figures it out.
Right.
I'm not extremely confident that we're going to see that from Arcega-Whiteside, but there is an avenue where he can be serviceable and at least productive for us in the small sample sizes that I think he can do a good job for the team.
For sure. And I think, one of the things that you look at with him was he was brought here to be that clone of Alshon and eventually take over. And then we talk about probably the next year we'll bring in a speed receiver. And we did that this year, take over for Deshaun, because that cap situation next year. So you're hoping that he pans out. But the guy, he's actually did great at Stanford. We talk about a red zone threat, but last year he did horrible. And I think he was relied upon too much. He had horrible coaching from Mike Groh and Carson Walsh. And I think now he's got some really good coaches, and that's really going to show up. He's got better competition at corner. It's not Ronald Darby. So we actually – I think we've seen it in training camp, but you got to take all that with a grain of salt. We want to see it on Sundays. So, Jake, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what Arcega-Whiteside's been doing and your projections on him.
Yeah, I think with JJ, Jimmy, to be honest, and I'm going to kind of bounce off what everyone else has been saying. It takes time for wide receivers to kind of figure it out sometimes, and I think he's kind of he's in that same position. They said he lost a good amount of weight this offseason, gained some muscle, which is always nice to hear, and people get a little overexcited about it. I don't put too much stock into it. But what you have, Jimmy, right now for JJ, I'm talking about is, so theoretically – Alshon's not going to come back till probably like mid-October, give or take.
7, yeah.
So you have theoretically, not even theoretically, just speaking in hypotheticals, you have the yellow brick road laid wide open for you. Talking about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to make an impact while Alshon is gone, to make a name for yourself. But it's. If he doesn't do it while Alshon's gone, then I'm going to be concerned. I'm going to be
this is perfect time, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have it for 6 weeks. I don't know why I used the yellow brick road analogy. That was awful. That was awful.
So that analogy. So does that make J-Jaw Dorothy?
Okay. God.
Well, then we just hope he can play. Then we just hope Alshon can play, right?
Oh, wait, it's the Wizard of Oz. I hear him.
The Wizard's here. Looking over your shoulder. Then we're just hoping Alshon can play, right? Then we're like, oh my God, well, Alshon's back. He better be able to play. You know what I mean? If he can't, and then we're screwed for the future. That's all.
Yeah.
Exactly. The all-powerful Oz.
Yeah, it's like,
my children.
Yeah, that's what it's. I literally thought of that instantly when I heard your voice. I'm like, oh shit, here it is. The Wizard's here, man.
Daddy loves you all.
Witches come there. I love it. But Arcega-Whiteside, right? It's like, you better step it up, because we don't just need you right now for the 6 weeks, like it was just alluded to by both of you guys. All of you actually. We need you for the future. So we're all hoping the best. Because we don't have any other X receiver. No. John Hightower's been trying, but I'm not putting any stock in that. I like the kid, but you're shitting me if you think this kid's going to start off. I saw there was a question, though. It asked if we thought anyone would reach over 1,000 yards this season. I don't think so, because Deshaun Jackson won't stay healthy enough. And Jalen Reagor's going to miss part of the season, so he can't. And everyone else is just going to get some. Zach Ertz, maybe?
Zach Ertz will.
I don't think any receivers.
No, Zach Ertz is the only person who definitely will.
Tight end, yeah.
Probably,
exactly.
yeah.
You think any receivers will, guys, or just Zach Ertz?
Deshaun could if he plays.
If he stayed healthy, right?
Yeah.
If he plays 14, he goes over 1,000. If he plays 14, we'll go over 1,000.
Oh, exactly. He needs 13 or 14 games. I think he could do that. Exactly. Yep. And I've said that would be a miracle for us. That would be a effing miracle if he could stay healthy for Reagor to get back and get into the fold and have these 6 receivers that we have right now. We let go of other guys, Deontay Barnett, and the other guys at the end of the roster that we knew would probably end up on the practice squad. So they're just letting these guys compete. It's down to 6, and I think that's going to be the 6 that actually make the team. And you're going to have to actually, I think when the season starts, there's this new rule in place, the injured reserve. Once you're actually down to your 53, the injured reserve now is actually only for 3 weeks, and you can put an unlimited amount of players on it. So Will Parks is going to go there, and you might see a guy like Jalen Reagor go there. So now you're going to clear up 2 spaces there. Hargrave maybe ends up there, or a Derek Barnett. We don't know what their injuries really are. So you're looking at the ability now to have only missed 3 weeks. So that's very intriguing, and it's going to get some of these guys on the active roster rather than just the practice squad.
Yeah, and I mentioned this on Wednesday, Jimmy, and I want to get your opinion on it. We were doing bold predictions, and I was saying, given the injury history of Deshaun, and the fact that we're not going to see Alshon until around mid-October at the earliest, and you look all the way around, one of my bold predictions was that Greg Ward would end up leading the receivers in touchdowns. Do you think that's crazy, or do you think there's actually, given the scenarios to where Deshaun does what Deshaun does and he gets hurt, Alshon, we don't see him nearly 100% until much later in the season. Do you think there's a chance of that happening?
Now, I think when it comes to catches, he's going to eat a big chunk and it probably shock a couple people. He's going to see a lot more catches than some of these receivers. I do believe that, definitely. I think he definitely could get some touchdowns. But like you yourself actually said earlier, how much he loves that bigger receiver when it comes down to the red zone. So I find him, he's either a dink and dunker. He's making those short plays. He's our slot guy. He's not too much of a home run threat. And if we're running home run, and he actually might get a bigger chance now, honestly, just because of the fact there's so many weapons. But I don't see him leading this team in touchdowns. I would see Zach Ertz. But if we're talking just receivers, I think Deshaun Jackson will have it even if he plays 10 games. He could probably lead this team in touchdowns.
It's funny, though? We talk about small receiver, right? He likes big receivers in the red zone. You go draft a small one in the first round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now
we're open. He's playing our thing at Whiteside, right? You're putting a lot of chips on that.
Well, that was your goal. Your goal was to go a big guy, more possession guy, and then go get your speed guy, this year. And they did that. Now
pray to God.
We're going to find out. I mean, I still think Jalen, the ability to take a top off a defense is still huge.
Yeah.
I do think the chemistry that was gained between Greg Ward and Carson can help that argument. I do agree with Jimmy, though. If Deshaun's on the field, I still think he's going to lead the receivers in touchdowns. Now, the X factor in all this is Alshon. Okay? So when does he come back? Is it week 4? I don't think he's in the conversation then, right? But week 2, if he plays week 2 and on and actually plays, then he's absolutely in the conversation leading this team in touchdowns. See, I think he's such the X factor of this season. I think he's the forgotten man of this season, right? I truly believe it. Right? And it's nothing to do with it. I still think he can play because just because he gets slower, when you can catch balls and you have a catch radius, you can still play in this league and be productive. I still believe with the speed around him, he can be big-time productive for this football team. I'm not done on Alshon because I'm still trying to win, right? So he could be the huge
biggest. That before, Tom.
It's like a free agent signing in a way, right? Because you didn't have him. You won't have him start the year, and then he comes in. There was like a trade, whatever, and I think it's going to be a big-time get-back for this football team. Boys, I'm excited about Alshon a little bit because I just want as many weapons around my quarterback as possible. Give me a million weapons.
Malik Jackson on defense, right? It's the same thing. It's that hidden thing. You and I talked about this, right? I had you on like a month ago. What are people forgetting? Alshon Jeffrey, and we understand he's probably not going to start the season, but when he does, how many touchdowns did he and Carson have? Like 17 together or something like that. Like that's pretty good. They do pretty well together, and obviously Alshon's missed a lot of time, so it could be a lot more. And of course, Carson's missed time when Alshon's playing with Nick Foles. So, is Quez Watkins going to sneak up on everyone this year? I don't think he's sneaking up on everyone. I think people are getting a little carried away with all the training camp stuff. But I think he's going to get a chance. I think he'll be on this roster. What do you guys think about Quez Watkins?
Thanks.
You think he stinks?
Stinks. I
don't think you have seen enough to get excited or be pissed. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just going to assume.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to assume draft slots. I'm going to assume draft slots and tell everybody.
With Howie Roseman,
Yeah, Watkins and Hightower stink. Okay, we can. I like them in college. Good. I like a lot of guys in college. I watch a lot of college. There's a lot of players that can play. All right, when they get to the next level, they're not good enough. Hey, there's two of them. The conversation is so easy. It's so basic. What the hell are we doing talking about Quez Watkins or John Hightower? I love you guys. I love the family out there. What are we doing talking about John Hightower or Quez Watkins? This football game comes down to.
Man.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll let you know that. I'm going to let them know that. I'm going to let them know what it comes down to.
Let them know.
Jalen Reagor, okay, Deshaun Jackson, Greg Ward, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Alshon, Miles Sanders, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goddard. I don't give a rat's ass about Quez Watkins or freaking John Hightower or some other jabroni. With all due respect, I don't care. Okay, these are the guys. If we're going to win football games, these are the dogs we're going to war with. If we get the Quez Watkins and John Hightower, Carson better just retire. He better retire. Call up. I'm done. If I get that far, that's all I'm saying when I mean stinks. I don't know. I'm not a crystal ball kitten, but I'm going to tell you what I do know. What I do know is that if we get to that point, we're in trouble. So everybody out there, stop talking about guys that are like A-string guys. Let's talk about the guys who actually have a chance to be productive for this football team and get us to Broad Street. Because next year, we're not going to have that conversation. So let's get there this year.
Quez Watkins, unfortunately, may have to play for us and John Hightower with the way these guys like to get injured. So we're down to 6 right now. Do you guys think? Do you think we keep these 6? Do you think that? I mean, I understand. Like we have to have them. They have to learn from this. So I see talk about 7 receivers. I think first off, well, like I said earlier, with that IR designation, I think you put Jalen Reagor on there. And then, so you essentially have 6 when we cut down to 53, and then you give yourself another spot by doing that. So you really just have those 5 guys. Because like Tom said, I know people get really excited, and they want to make their Madden rosters. They want to have the bottom barrel of the depth guys get all excited for it. But the problem is, it's the guys Tom just mentioned. Those are your effing starters. Those are the guys that are going to get the ball. No one gives a shit, and we don't want to have to start these guys. And it's not like talking crap on them. Like, I want to hope that they get better, and I hope they're awesome in the future, and I hope if they're using the return game, they do great there too. And it's awesome. We added some speed because you know what? Howie doesn't ever do shit. But I get where Tom's come from because when he does do something, it's usually shit. So, unfortunately, we have to just look at what we do have. And why wouldn't you be excited about Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, and Greg Ward prove what he could do in the slot, like everyone has mentioned. So, look at the weapons you have. Ertz and Goddard, Miles Sanders. Dude, we're all right. We just, honestly, what pisses me off is the offensive line. That's the only thing really fucking pissing me off. Like, whoop-de-doo, dandy, fine, everything about else. We'll learn about Arcega-Whiteside week 1. But what we're really going to learn about is Carson going to be on the run? Is he really? So that's what just really, I can't fucking think.
J Lash. We are talking about them because our current receivers are booty or hurt. Okay. Well, Deshaun's not booty and he's not hurt right now. Okay. We don't know about JJ enough to say one way or the other yet. Right. We don't know. A 2nd round pick, we would hope not's booty. Right, compared to a 6th round pick and 5th round picks that you want to talk about. Okay, we would assume when Jalen Reagor's back, he's not booty. We would hope so. 1st round pick, you know what I mean? We didn't go get the guys we thought we should go get. He's the guy. Fine, let's roll with him. Let's see what he can do. Okay, so if you want to call him booty, then that's fine. Alshon hasn't been really never booty at any point in his career. Just got banged up. Later on here, and that's with that. But at no point to me has he not been a productive guy in the National Football League, and at times a legit number 1 for a long time in this league. So I'm not ready to say he's booty, right? Who am I missing? Who am I missing on the wide receiver core? You know what I mean? Like I don't think them guys are booty. Is it the greatest wide receiver core ever assembled? No, but it's good. It's good. If all them guys are on the football field, it's dangerous. So if we want to talk about Quez Watkins and John Hightower, then we'll talk about them. Then we'll talk about them. What do we know to talk about them? The guys that practice, that watch them, don't have a goddamn clue yet. You don't have a clue until guys play on Sunday. Everything else is cute. It's freaking smoke and mirrors until
you got to take it all with a grain of salt.
You might be able to go over the middle in practice, honey. Now, can you go over the middle in a game?
Yeah. And he's not, Tom's not saying that, these guys suck and we don't want to talk about it. It's just, why not talk about the excitement of what we do have at starting, and they're good receivers, dude. So they're not booty. And, Quez Watkins, John Hightower, like I said, I hope the best for their future, and I can't wait to watch them grow, and hopefully in practices they're getting better. But I'm hoping I don't have to see them right away. And I get to talk about what the hell the practice was, because right now, I'm concerned, and I want Alshon to play. A lot of people, who cares? Like, I don't want him to start on the pup. I just, with the smoke and mirrors we get from Doug Peterson, you never know what the fuck's going on with these guys. So it's scary, but I'm excited for the young guys. I'm glad he at least added some speed. A lot of us wanted us in the second round to add another receiver. So that's where a lot of the hostility comes from, because it's like, oh, great. Yeah, because this guy's the master at drafting receivers. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt. We'll see. Shelton Gibson was exciting his first year. So we all know how that went. Okay. He sucks. And I'm not saying Hightower or Watkins suck at all. I'm excited. So, at this point, we've pretty much been going through the 53-man roster, because we know who the quarterbacks are. We know it's Hurts, Sudfeld, Wentz. Not even going to waste our time talking about that. The running backs are down to 3. Tom called that nail on the head with that one. We're rolling in with Miles Sanders. Let's hope he's healthy. Boston Scott, Corey Clement backing that up. Then we talk about these 6 wide receivers. Let's hope these guys are healthy. We're going to find out if Arthur-Whiteside's all right. He's playing X, so we're going to find out. So tight end. Now, here's a position where we've rolled with 2 before. Do you guys think we keep 2 tight ends, or do you think we go in with this young Noah Tagai kid? Because he's the only one left now.
I think we're sticking with the 2.
Yeah,
just
same.
2?
We're sticking with the 2. Every time we get a third tight end and we have him on the active roster, he's never used.
Yeah.
And I've been anticipating a 3 tight end set at some point, especially when we had Richard Rodgers on the roster.
How about it?
But I think we're just going to stick with Ertz and Goddard. Togalai will probably be on the practice squad.
Okay. And I, that's something, with Goddard's thumb that actually made me think about for a while. Because I'm like, do we keep it third? Because I know with the new practice squad rules, you can bring up 2 guys and they can be active on game day. So it could be a tight end. The Eagles love doing that. Tom, What are your thoughts on the tight end situation?
Yeah, if they go to 3, I don't give a rat's ass because he can't play. Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, I'm at my dogs. I'm at 1 and 2. Can 1 and 2 get it done? I expect them to. So that's where I lie. I know Jay said who are my starting wide receivers. Well, no Jalen, no Alshon. So to me, your 3 are JJ, Deshaun, and Greg Ward. They're your opening day run throughs, and it is what it is. And we're going to find out quick, right? So that's that tight end. I don't carry 3 because I need other guys. You know what I mean? I'm going to have to keep some other guys in some other spots, right? Taylor, talking about any guys you're interested that got released from our team, Taylor? No. From somebody else's, I don't know any big. I don't know if any big names got released yet.
Thomas Davis was one, or not Thomas Davis? Davis from the Broncos, middle linebacker.
I'll take him. I don't even care.
And the other big name was Adrian Peterson, where people were asking us about.
I would take him.
We talked about we talked about on this show, though. The Redskins have Bryce Love, Peyton Barber, J.D. McKissick, and then Gibson was a great draft. So, that wasn't a surprise.
I would take A-Pate. Hey, I don't care. I would take any running back.
And
I know how you feel.
And looking at the value that Leonard Fournette got makes it affordable to get AP.
Like what, Frank? Like a mill, right, Frank? Like a mill, probably.
Yeah,
interesting.
Some incentives.
I'd do it.
Yeah, Ryan, would you do it?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because he's a guy like we were talking about with Fournette. It's a perfect complement to what we already have. And again, no disrespect to
truck.
Yeah, exactly. Pound it right down the middle, and it doesn't. When you're bringing a guy in for,
didn't we have 2 when we won? What was it called? I think a Super
Bowl. Something.
Oh yeah,
like
well, right. He also has the ability to go Hizzle too, right? He also has the ability to go. He's done it against us. Like
I'm just gonna say, I was at the game in fantasy while this son of a bitch ran for 90-some yards.
Yeah,
I fucking hate you.
No,
you know what's crazy?
He doesn't even be a starter. You know what I mean?
Exactly. If we bring him in for 1 year,
it's the same as Freeman talk, right? It's the same thing we've been talking about.
Because because you have to win now because of the cap next year.
Miles is already banged up, right? Don't tell me he's just it's precautious.
Guys, how are you not in win now mode? How is he not in win now mode with $64 million over the cap next year? How is Leonard Fournette not on his radar at $2.5 million? How is Adrian Peterson not on his radar at $1 million? How is any middle linebacker of any value that's been released or is going to be released not on his radar? That's what we're going to find out real soon.
And I'm telling you where he's going to go. I'm telling you right now where he's going to go. I'm so confident on it. It's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just telling you. Watch
Just to get that ring. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, a team that has the offense, doesn't need – it's kind of like the same thing with the Ravens. Again, we talked about it on Wednesday. I get sick and tired of this organization and the fans talk about, oh, well, we don't need a running back. We have Miles Sanders. Okay, the Ravens had Mark Ingram. They got J.K. Dobbins. The Colts had a running back. They got somebody. The Lions had somebody. They drafted somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
guys get
about
hurt.
improving your roster. It's about improving your roster. You don't have to give up picks.
We won a Super Bowl doing it.
Exactly. So if you bring in, like if you would have, and obviously it's friggin', it doesn't matter now because he's on the Buccaneers, but if you would have brought in a Leonard Fournette, that's the combination of like a J.J. and like Garrett Blunt on freaking steroids, younger people.
Yep.
Right. Even Devontae Freeman is better than what you have. Anybody out there that wants to come on A2D radio and tell me the names that have hit the market, and there's not a ton of them, but with Devontae Freeman, Leonard Fournette, and Adrian Peterson now are better than Boston Scott and Corey Clement. Now, if you want to tell me you like Boston on this roster, I'm in. I'm in as my third. I've been saying this from day one. As my damn third. Not as my second. Okay? You want to be all in love with Corey Clement? Cool. Be in love with him.
They're like the same guy, right? You know?
Like, I'm not going to fall. Yeah, I need another running back. These two aren't necessarily running backs, per se. If Miles goes down, them two are carrying the load. So I've been saying this. So anybody wants to come on and debate me about Holyfield or Killins or freaking Michael or TJ or I don't give a shit Warren, okay? They stink at the National Football League level, okay? I don't want to talk about TJ Warren in the bubble shooting for 50, right? Okay? A National Football League, not good enough, all right? So all I'm asking for is stop talking about them and tell me how there would be a better addition than the three names I just mentioned. And Devontae Freeman, Leonard Fournette, or Adrian Peterson, okay? Are they better than them? Because if they are, what I suggest, and this is no disrespect to anybody out there that's watching or anything, I suggest stop maybe watching. That's all. Just take a step back, reevaluate, because them guys that I named, compared to the other three names, they can't hold their jock straps. Now, could they prove me wrong? Sure. We're talking about undrafted guys or late round picks. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? This is the city. So we create this. We create that we're going to be hard on all our elite guys, right? But all these just guys we're going to love. This is what's wrong with our city sometimes. Why don't we start showing some love to the elite guys? And maybe more elite guys are going to come to Philly. Instead of falling in love with the guy who's like, he's a grinder. I love myself a grinder. Yeah, I do. But I also need talent at the professional level, okay? So when are we going to start falling in love with the guys who would actually play and stop having conversations about guys that shouldn't be on this roster if they are, were the Cleveland Browns like 2-3 years ago? Okay, if that's what people want, then fine. But I'm trying to win. So anybody on this panel thinks that them three, I'll even go a step further, that the three that got released are better than one at a time. Okay, I got one at a time. You get all three versus one, and they're still not better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. Tom, the first show I ever had with you, literally, we talked about Devontae Freeman. It got old. It was just literally like, and then every week we're like, yeah, man, if they just added a running back and just it keeps going. And then Miles Sanders gets hurt, and it's like, Then you see names hitting the market, and you're like, oh, it's not just Devontae Freeman. Now, now we've got Leonard Fournette out there. All right, and goes with Tom Brady to the Buccaneers. Now you're looking at a guy like Adrian Peterson, and I couldn't agree more. This guy is a truck. He will run you over. He is that kind of guy, just like we had in 17 in Blunt and Ajayi. Mold them together. That's this guy. He is still one of the premier backs. I've seen it with my own eyes. This guy will eat us alive. Why not? Let him join us. He will teach these guys. He is a Hall of Fame. He's one of the best running backs I've ever watched in my life. Like, he's literally that amazing. And I've watched Barry Sanders. I'm telling you, in person, I've never been so enthralled by a man that could just run people over. He's a monster. And Yeah, I want this running back room to get better, and I can't agree more. And I love when Tom talks about it because it gets me fired up because I get pissed off about the fact that we just stay healthy all the time, right? I mean, we never get hurt. We just get fucking hurt before the training camp even begins, lose our right guard, and then everyone just keeps following. So now you're going to tell me you're going to go into the season. Now you have 3. So if Miles Sanders gets hurt, now it's 2 of the same kind of back, the old Swiss Army knife. Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love that on third down back guy, not my every down back guy. So if he goes down, holy shit, who are you bringing up? One of those guys on the practice squad? You're shitting me. So no. Whoever, Tom, bring them on. You can come on next week and we'll talk all about it. Because
anybody wants on the debate this, anybody wants on to join this, even in the fan base, please feel free. Feel free to try to tell me how these guys are better. Because Evander Holyfield's got big legs.
And don't get me wrong here, guys. I'm excited to watch these guys grow on the practice squad for a year. And then next year, I'll see what they've done. There is no time for this.
He wasn't in the best running back on the roster in Georgia. What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? Wasn't in the best running back.
I brought that up a couple weeks ago. Exactly.
What are we doing? Stop falling in love with soccer.
That's why they cut him. Exactly. And that's why people are like, oh, fuck.
People are like upset. Like Bo Jackson left. Oh, Bo's hip fell off on the 50-yard line. You know what I mean? That's how people made it have to be. Oh.
No, I get people. I got harassed. Like today, straight up, people. You know how it goes. You post something because you're just trying to give them the news. Like I didn't do this. I didn't fucking cut them. Like how the fuck did you release? God, they're like, well, I'm gonna be real with you, dude. I didn't, but I did sit here and have a guest on that told you it just might happen. And then for the last couple months, I kept you aware not to get so fucking excited about training camp. Trust me, I'd much rather hear they're doing well than doing bad. And I'm not saying you don't ask questions about it. Please, we'd love to give it to you. But don't sit here and act like these guys are the second coming because we're going to keep it real with you. We've got some players here right now. So stay fucking healthy. And let's find out if some of these draft picks are the starters. Sidney Jones, you're going to find out what he did in this week that we haven't seen anything. But you had 1 week because you missed all the rest of it because you were fucking hurt. We talk about the best abilities, availability. You're never fucking available. So you could probably be traded for a 7th-round pick and a pack of Slim Jims. I don't know because you suck. Because you're not playing. You do great when you are, but you haven't played. So I've lost my mind there.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't lose your mind.
I thank you. Thank you. I get so pissed off about him.
Can we do something? Because we haven't done it tonight. Because for an hour and 36 minutes, we defined negadelphia in this city, right? For an hour and 36 minutes, I couldn't be more negative for some reason. I mean, and there's reasons, but it's more negative for the idiots, right? I get more negative towards the idiots, and Howie Roseman's one of them idiots. So then negativity comes out. But I love my football coach more than I can love a football coach. Like Mike Tomlin might be the only guy I love more, and that's tough, right? And that's the Steelers fan one. I love me some Mike Tomlin. Listen. Come sleep in the middle of my bed. You know what I mean? Like that. Come snuggle. You know what I mean? Like I love Mike. I love me some Mike. But I feel like a motivational speech in the morning's coming too, which I could use.
Yeah, that'd be a great way to start the morning.
Yeah, great way.
You know, we'd already have people.
Yeah, awkward over eggs. You know what I mean? A little awkward over eggs, but still a good morning. Who's scrambled or sunny side?
Sunny side, baby.
Good morning. So I love my football coach. I love my quarterback. I love some of my players, if not a lot of them. I love my defense. I love my defensive coordinator. I love my offensive coordinator because his name's Doug Peterson. So I love a lot of things. So before any more negativity comes out of my mouth, because this is why I don't want to talk about slop, is this football team still winning 10 or 11 games? That's constructive. Okay? So I'm just going to, there's your positivity. They're still Super Bowl contender in my eyes. As long as you got that quarterback and that defense is upright, they're a Super Bowl contender in my eyes. Okay? And that's it. So I just don't want to talk about slop, but they're still a 10-11 win team. So everybody, all the negativity that was delivered tonight on your table, right? I know you enjoyed it, you ate it up, but it's the 10-11 win football team. Let's get excited a little bit too.
Hell yeah. And that's it. You want people, you're not in the wrong here, Tom. You want people to get excited about the right fucking things. Get ready. And let's get ready. I know the offensive line, I saw the comment. That's the thing that you're most worried about. We're worried too. That's what we've been talking about. We get it. But if they can figure shit out, if we get things all figured out, we're all trying to be positive here. we can be a 10-win, 11-win team. I mean, God forbid we win 12 if we're healthy. I highly doubt that, especially with the way things are looking now. But the O-line, with it broken up, Jake, what are your thoughts? Do we keep 9 or 10 offensive linemen here? We got 10 guys left right now. Do we keep all of them? The Opetas, the Herbigs of the team?
Well, before we get into that, Jimmy, let's just get into John's comment. You hear about reports that Douglas and Sidney Jones are in trade talks for a conditional 7th. You're not even going to get a 7th. You're not even going to get like a.
I said that online. I said I'd be there. Someone said I'd be happy with the 3rd. I said a fucking 3rd. So I'd be happy if we could even manage a 6 from the Vikings. I mean,
Please tell me that's true.
I hope that's true.
That's true.
I hope that's true.
Who do you think's going out of the two of them?
Can I say yes? Can I say
Jones.
yes?
I'm sorry, I was taking a nap because we're talking about slop again.
Craig James, right? That was a surprising extension, but that's a Jim Schwartz guy. The guy's
stinks. He stinks.
He's a special teamer. But here's the thing: does this give us that 5th guy that's just a special teamer, and that allows you to get rid of Rasul and City, right?
No. Listen. Let me just clarify something, John. Love you to death, right? Not trading Sidney right now because I need him to play. I need him to be good. Okay, I need him to be good. I'm not going to get anything for him, so I need him to be good. Rasul, I will just give him away. You understand? That's the different thing. I'll just you don't have to give me anything back. You just want to take him. You know, I mean, that's the.
We'll give you something with it.
Yeah. We're just going to give you him, and then you want what do you want?
Here's $100.
Yeah, a couple lunches. We got you on the house on Jeffrey. Mm-hmm. All right, and Sidney has to be good for us, guys. Mm-hmm. That's the difference.
I'm all on it, baby.
I've been saying it. Listen, I'm a Brandon Graham believer. Brandon Graham, like you know what I mean, a brother of mine. Because you know what I mean, we've been through this ride together around the same ages in a way. So like a brother of mine, I feel like, right? When he falls in love with a kid and he tells you about a kid's makeup, I'm gonna start buying into him a little bit. Now you got to stay healthy, brother. I can't buy into more. You know what I mean? All the talk's great, but now you got to stay healthy. I believe he can. I believe this will be the year. First, second thing, Jimmy, he's coming up on the end of a deal soon. So when guys start to get on the end of the deal, sometimes they find the football field a little bit more. So we'll find out.
Yep. And I believe you were actually part of the show where it was, that was the topic. The poll question was, will he win that second cornerback job? And a lot of people are still sold on Avante, but I've said it over and over again. Avante will still be used in this defense. He's a versatile guy. He doesn't have to be called the starter. I don't like him outside because that means you're playing 10 yards off again.
I'd rather go 4. I'd rather go 4 in a dime piece, right? Go 4 in a dime piece. He's your other slot guy. He's your other slot guy. Crevon can come in at some point too, but I would like Avante and Coleman as my 2 slot guys. LeBlanc can play outside a little bit to me. I think he can, but Sidney's going to get that first chance, and then obviously Slay.
Tom, I actually Rube retweeted one of my questions to him yesterday, and it was about that right there. So I mean, good stuff. I feel like I haven't been asking anybody else though anything. But Rube is a guy that I love following. I know some people feel a certain way about him, but I think that he's somebody.
Rube's great. Rube's great at it. Does a really great job. Yeah.
So hold on one sec. Just gotta text you.
Oh, you gotta find it. Find her.
Yeah. But he's somebody I definitely respect, but I'm never gonna find it. But he's a good man, and he
what was
literally
your question?
Yeah, what did you say? I'm sorry, I got totally lost by that text.
What was your question? So you asked him a question. Did he come back with like the same thing I rolled out with like Avante in the slot with Coleman?
That was it. Sorry, I blacked out from that text.
No, blackout away.
So Crevon LeBlanc, that was the question. He said about him possibly being the second best corner. My bad, everybody. I'm a drifter.
Second best.
He said he could be, and I said, probably third behind Nickel Ruby Coleman. Darius Slay, obviously number 1. But Crevon LeBlanc, he really liked what he saw. And I asked, do you feel comfortable with him playing outside? And he said, that's one of the things that Doug's been doing, even with Slay playing inside. These guys have been going in and out. And he said, that's the question at hand. We're all wondering. And he said, he kind of felt comfortable, but he was kind of questioning that himself. But he likes him a lot. So I think we're all on that,
this defense is
get
fine.
These guys on the field.
This defense is fine. Somebody's going to go out and win a job. There's a lot of guys in there to compete. You up the level of competition with Slay and Coleman big time. That already makes you one of the better, units in the league right there, right? I mean, that just makes you that much better. So now your second corner, aka your outside corner, because they say LeBlanc's your second best corner is egregious right now. It's egregious. Okay, because he's not better than Coleman. Coleman's been doing this for a minute, babe. He's been doing this for a hot minute. So that's just that's just reaching a little bit, but that's fine. That's fine.
I think he forgot him, honestly.
Yeah, but but not you, Rube. Like Rube saying,
no, that's what I'm saying. I think he forgot. Yeah,
I think people forget about Coleman. Like, that dude's a pimp. So, but I do like what we have out of them other three, right? I think we have something in Avante, LeBlanc, Sidney. Rasul can just go away, like I said. I think they're the guys who end up being on this roster. I don't know if Rasul makes it because I don't know how many they're going to carry. I don't want your guys' thoughts, but I think they're the guys that are obviously on the roster out of them three. Like Sidney Jones makes his team. Avante Maddox, obviously. LeBlanc, Coleman. What's that? 5. Slay 6. How many we keep?
And then James at 6.
And then James. That's 6. So there's Craig James stinks. So I don't know why they even gave him what they're even doing. Stinks.
Special teams, I guess.
Yeah. If it's for that, Jimmy, I'm on board, guys. Sorry. If it's for that, I'm on board.
Yep. And that's, the guy really balled out. And Jim can't talk. Like, he literally talks about him all the time. And I was like, is this? But it's not about really corner. So you're just like, hey, if he's an ace, if you can actually have a guy that's going to the Pro Bowl every year. We missed that, right? The Maragos years where we had a guy where you could rely on and just be like, oh, yeah, special teams is on the field. We're blocking a punt. We're running one. I mean, what the fuck happened to that? But here's one. Green Goblin at safety. This is a great question. Jake, why don't you start us off with this one? How do you think the Green Goblin's going to do at safety here?
I think he'll do well at safety, Jimmy, to be honest with you, because I'm not going to say he's going to be Malcolm Jenkins, but he's going to do similar to – he'll fit a similar role because he can cover tight ends. We saw it in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. He virtually shut down Gronk until the second half started. But it's just one of those things where you're going to see him not even in the backfield. You'll see him more nickel and dime type of packages to where he'll be up close against the tight ends. And you'll just see him all over the field. But I think with me, I'm expecting a lot. I'm not going to say a Pro Bowl year, but I think he's going to have a very, very good year at the safety position.
Me too. And Brian, I would love to hear your thoughts on someone like Jalen Mills. I know this is something you and I have talked about before, a position we feel like he should have been moved to years ago. So I'd love to tell the people.
It's about damn time, Jimmy. It's about damn time. And, going back to when we were talking about, bold predictions, I wanted so bad to, on Wednesday, include a bold prediction for our guy, Kavon Wallace. And I was going to say, Kavon Wallace is going to really, steal the job there. But I didn't include that because that's how confident I am in Jalen Mills doing his job. Yeah. And we talked about this before. It's that, and I'm actually really excited to see what they do with this to where it's not only that it's not going to be the Jalen Mills at cornerback anymore. And in some instances, it's not going to be Jalen Mills just at safety. They've been very documented saying it's going to be the hybrid type role. Yep. And obviously this is going to really put pressure on guys like, and Maddox and Sidney Jones and Kavon, guys that are going to, possibly play that second cornerback position to do their job. Therefore, Jalen doesn't really have to really worry about that hybrid position. But it's good that, at the back of all of our minds as Eagles fans, we know that, say, for example, there are the stereotypical injuries that seem to happen all over the Eagles roster, especially in the secondary, that you have a guy that, listen, we all believe that should be a safety and is a true safety, but we won a Super Bowl with him at cornerback. So looking as time passes here, bringing back Jalen Mills on that 1-year deal instead of just letting him move on, I'm really excited about it. And listen, I know he's a guy, I can almost say he's a controversial name because it's like you have guys that absolutely love him and you have guys that absolutely sucks. And the true answer is in the middle, but the true answer is also, in my opinion, something that we haven't seen yet as Eagles fans, because I think this is a restart here for Jalen Mills. You talk about the confidence that all the defensive players and the coordinators and all the coaches are talking about Jalen Mills, that he's been really impressive. It's crazy to think about this. And we get trapped every year, I feel like the last handful of years, especially the last 3, because we went from a situation, let's talk, obviously 2014, 15, 16, to where, you just looked at the secondary position. You just thought, okay, that's a barren wasteland of hell, and you just wanted to look away from it. It was like looking directly into the sun, and you would just be blinded just even thinking about it, let alone looking at it. That's how bad the secondary was for the Eagles. They only got into a phase to where we had numbers. We had a lot of people, but it was just stuff. Like people, I remember in 2017 and then the last 2 years, we get excited because we have Rasul and we have Craig James and we have all these guys, but they're not stars. They're just guys that they're going to be bodies in case we go through the.
But 2017 we had legit corners. I'm
talking about the last 2 years. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We were just talking about slop all off season. Remember, right?
Exactly. It was just a lot of stuff. That's all it was. Now, and listen, like I said, it could be a trap that we're getting ourselves into, and we can quickly find out. 3 weeks in the season that we're in the same boat as the last 2 years. But I think now that we're seeing guys fall into their roles, and especially with the, bringing in a guy like Nickel Roby-Coleman and obviously Darius Slay, I can't believe I'm saying I'm extremely confident in our secondary, and I think we can end up having, I want to say one of the better, I don't want to say top 3, top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah, I could say top 5 secondary if everything, and especially health, and everybody, really falls in their roles well. And then, if Sidney Jones actually gets on the field and does his job.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, about Jalen real quick. Jake, and this isn't anything what Jake said about Malcolm. I just think he's going to be more, at this point of his career, he'll be more productive than Malcolm this year. Mm-hmm. I think he has the abilities to be close to a Pro Bowl level of free safety. And I know when they talk about a hybrid, they more mean down in the slot sometimes and more tight end matchups, more use as a linebacker than like per se another corner, right? So he's not going to play corner. He's just not. There's too many corners on this roster. He's not going to play corner. His other role becomes a linebacker role now for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Mills was the most underrated signing of this offseason, bringing him back. A leader of this defense, one of the many leaders of this defense, and a guy who I know we had a comment that says bring intensity. I think Jamie said it. And that's what he does. And I think playing back and allow him being a ball hawk is going to help his game, right? And I think it's going to help our defense. And all the names Rye mentioned, all the names we all mentioned beforehand, are all reasons why this defense and has the ability to be a top 5, top 10 defense, because some of these guys are going to be used down the box a little more. Rodney can tackle down the box. So you know what I mean? Jalen, I have no issues with him tackling. He likes to get his beak wet. I've been yelling that for years. That's why I liked him at corner at times, because I said that he likes to tackle, and I want my corners to be able to tackle. And that's what he did well in Super Bowl year. Even though he gave up catches, nobody was breaking catches. Everything kept in front of him. So I think the ability to keep everything in front of him now will help him at free safety. Everything's in front of you. Now you can be more of a ball hawk. I think he will be. I have a ton of confidence. I'm right with Ryan. I got so much confidence in this defense. Super excited. Excited.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm excited. Frank, what are your thoughts on Jalen Mills being back there? And I couldn't agree more, Ryan and Tom.
I'm definitely excited to see Jalen back into his natural position. I predicted on Wednesday that we might have a Green Goblin game where he will just ball. Probably one of the best games in his career. I know Jim Schwartz will try to play him out of position as a linebacker, maybe as a tackling safety in possible blitz packages. So with that, I think it's going to be great. He's going to have some big shoes to fill, filling the void for Malcolm Jenkins, who's been a leader in the locker room for the past couple of years. So Jalen will definitely step up to be the leader on the defense. So this will probably be one of his best years, and especially on a 1-year prove-it contract. Exactly. I think we might see probably his best year ever.
Yeah.
Jake, didn't he play free safety at LSU?
He did.
He did. Yep.
Tom said earlier,
Now, Pop, I disagree, but agree. But I think he can be that.
You can't put that on him, though. He's not Malcolm Jenkins, and we're not expecting that. But he is going to be expected a bigger role with the injury to Will Parks. That's another one where, we're going to have to keep an extra safety. Where it was, I thought in my mind, 4 safeties. It was going to be McLeod, Kayvon Wallace, Jalen Mills, and then Will Parks. Now Will Parks gets hurt. Now he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So now a guy like Marcus Epps, Rudy Ford, they're going to be our 4th safety until he gets back, man. We're going to have to figure something out, and that's scary as hell. But let's hope that those 3 guys we mentioned, like Jalen Mills, he'll be more of that guy that is going to, like you guys said, a dime linebacker, someone that helps out because the linebackers are so scary right now. But a guy like Kayvon's actually going to be relied on a lot more now because he's going to have to play that back end, single high safety a lot more than, a guy like Jalen Mills would. So intriguing. Now, what do you guys think about the linebacking core? We'll try to get the linebackers and the defensive end before we get in here. Now, do you think we keep 6 because we're such a cluster that we have to figure it out, or we just keep the 5 that, dear God.
I'll go quick with it. You know what I mean? For time, 5.
Yep.
5.
Yeah, I'm going to say 5 too.
Yeah.
Singleton, odd man out.
Yeah, I mean, that entire position's like a black hole of
I don't care who we keep. Like, I don't even care what names you say. I'll be like, okay.
I know how you feel.
Okay. Like, whatever names you say, because there's nothing to really choose from. So it's like if somebody didn't make it, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm shocked.
Our linebacking position is so bad, one guy decided to friggin' retire.
Yeah, exactly.
Jake,
no, 5 or 6.
He said
5 or 6 for you, Jake.
What'd you say?
5 or 6 for you.
I'm going to say 5.
And Frank, you said 5 as well?
I say 5 as well.
Now, the defensive line, this is an intriguing one. We've got 4 guys, I think, that are great. That rotation should be great if they stay healthy, but they all have a history of getting banged up. So you got Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Malik Jackson, and Hassan Ridgeway. I know they've been pumped about a guy like Rush. He'll be on the practice squad. So probably keep 4, right? Now, how many defensive ends? And do you think it's 4 defensive tackles? Do you keep 6? And is it guys like Osman and Tuhill? Or do you think Sharif Miller makes it? Or do you think we just cut ties because he sucked and that was a horrible pick in the 4th round? So what are you seeing? Jannard Avery, was that a horrible trade in the 4th round pick? Another 4th round wasted. So Ryan, why don't you start us off? Look like you got something on your mind, man.
The problem with the Sharif Miller thing is this, and we always talk about it. Howie Roseman doesn't give up on his freaking picks. It's like he hangs on him for far too long, as opposed to just realizing, okay, let's
but where does he fit? Where does he fit though? Like, there's so many. I mean,
I agree.
Harry, you know what I mean? Does he take Jannard Avery's spot until Jannard Avery comes back from injury? You know what I mean? That's the only spot that's available because there's not enough. I mean, Brandon Graham. Okay, let's talk about Brandon Graham.
Yeah,
Derek Barnett.
Sweat.
What would you say,
Curry? Sweat and Curry.
Sweat. Carry, so Avery, and that would have been it. So that's what, 5? They're probably going to keep 5 DNs. You know what I mean?
Do you think with that injury to Avery, they keep an extra one just in case if they have to put him on the IR for that?
So it might be Sharif there, but that you know what I mean. So maybe he has a spot there, and then your tackles are done. You know what they are. You know what I mean? So you're pretty much set on what you know, and that's probably the only guy DN wise that has a shot to make the team. And the Rise point, he does like holding on to his picks, but if there's no room for him, how does he keep them? You know what I mean? He's not keeping him over Vinny Carey right now.
He's got 3 competing right now. Tuhill, Osman, and Osman wasn't, but they're all guys that he's got to admit he's wrong. So that's gonna be tough, like you said. What's he gonna do?
So he might keep him in Avery's spot, but as soon as Avery's back, he goes to whatever. He goes to a practice squad or wherever he's going. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. I don't know if you guys look at it different.
Frank, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think we're pretty set on our D end.
You think that's what it's going to be like? Jake, what are your thoughts on that, brother?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't think it's really going to change much.
And Ryan?
I'm just looking at the depth chart. So, real quick, you look at Barnett, obviously lock. You look at Javon Hargrave, lock. And by all accounts, Jimmy, correct. He's going – the coaching staff says he's going to be ready week 1 to where he's not going to have to be one of these.
Like Deshaun Jackson? Ready
Yeah, true.
Yeah, 1 play and out. Yeah.
One catch and done. He's going to be ready next week and we won't see him for 2 years.
Week.
Yeah.
And then
we know how that works.
Next.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're spot on. So where you would say, okay, he's getting the spot. Fletcher, obviously, Graham. Then you go second tier and you say, okay, Curry, you're not moving on from Curry.
No, you brought him back.
Yeah, exactly. Malik, he's here.
Yeah.
You're looking at Sweat because he absolutely abused our left tackles so far in practice.
Good. I'm glad he did.
Yeah. Well, for the sake of the defense, I'm glad. Other way around, not so much.
Yeah.
And then you look at, okay, Hassan Ridgeway, he's kind of that fringe guy. And then you look at, Raekwon Williams, Anthony Rush, Sharif Miller, Jernard Avery. Those are your other options.
Yeah, and the Avery, because he gave up an asset for Avery. Remember that?
Yeah,
So
he's the only guy we traded for at the deadline.
Yeah. So it's like giving up something. Bill, there's no depression here. I've said it during the show. Man. I said we're just being negative in certain spots, but we all still believe. I mean, I know I do. It's a 10-11
Super Bowl, baby,
and a Super Bowl contender. So I don't, Bill. I know it seems like that tonight, but
we're just thinking from inside the room, right?
Yeah, we're just upset about drafts and et cetera, and JP, and the poll question about JP put us in a position to be upset early, and it's carried. It's been a carryover,
it's
and that's
an off-season of missed opportunities. That's
it is. But hey, we're still here being positive, right? I mean, as much as you hold on to the negative, whatever you wanted to hear there, take what we've said and actually gain something from it. Because what we're saying is there's some great things you need to be focusing on, and there's a lot of things that we're not focusing on. We better pray to God that the team isn't focusing on these things and doesn't have to focus on these things. We need guys to step it up. Sidney Jones, JJR, think of Whiteside. We have so many guys that we're relying on. Pryor, oh God, let's hope he's at right guard. We talked about so many awesome things, but the thing you got to remember here, Bill, Bob, I forget your name, we are prepared to get this team back to the Super Bowl, and we're going to be on their ass every week, keeping it real, letting them know we've got their backs, but we're going to keep it real because we try to think of it from a standpoint of inside the room. What should these guys be saying to Howie Roseman? Because if I work with him, he'd be hearing it from me. I can promise you that. So just trying to give you guys that real taste of it, man. And we're here with you. We're real Eagles fans. So don't act like you don't get pissed off when you wake up and I send you the news that says Will Parks is hurt, and then I get a message back 2 seconds later, fuck you, I'm checking out. And it's like, well, you know what? I can't control this. But you know what? I'm trying to be positive. But sometimes life just doesn't work out that way. But guys, we've had a fantastic Friday night. I have loved the energy, whether or not, don't think of it as depressing, guys. Think of it as keeping it real, because we're 9 days away from Eagles football, and we need some of these things to be figured out, and they have been. So it's a little scary, but we got this, Bill. Exactly. We got this. Let's go. So Ryan, Jake, Frank, Tom, thank you so much for seriously. Every time you guys come on, it's always fire. So hopefully we'll get you guys on again soon. Any last words, Ryan?
Hey, JP, grow the hell up. Play left tackle. Save the season. Thanks. Appreciate you.
Jake?
If we actually do get something for Russell Douglas and Sidney Jones, I might actually play the lottery tomorrow. I might do it.
There you go. Good call. Frank, any last words?
No last words. So those are my last words.
I like it. Fair enough. Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate that. Tom, you got any final words for us, brother?
I love the family out there chiming in on every show. We love you out there. Keep doing it. We're the voice of the people. And even bigger than that, my last words are this is a Super Bowl contender. All right, this is a team. This is a defense that's going to be a top 10er. We're going to go get the quarterback. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Pop, yes, Game 7, baby. Let's go. Anything can happen. Talk. Houston taking down the Rockets. Houston taking down the Lakers. And guess what's going to happen? The whole league's going to run six guys out there. Here we go. This trend's going to fucking start. I'm sickened. I want the Houston to win, but I'm almost sickened. So they better get knocked down next round. So what's this? This isn't the Western Conference Finals yet, right?
No, semis.
No,
semis, right? Yeah. So regardless if they get knocked out in the Western Conference semis, then we're good. But love my Eagles. I know you guys do. Jimmy, thanks, brother. Fucking great show, boys. Giddy up.
Yo, Tom, thank you. You're the one that gives us this platform, and cannot thank you enough. If you guys didn't know, it's takeover time. So check out A2D every single day, every single show. It's got anything that your heart desires. Any sport, it's all back, baby. And football's back in 9 days. So gear up, because here we come. I cannot wait. We're going to give you guys as much content as we possibly can. We appreciate all the questions, comments. Please, however you're feeling, negatively, positively, let us know, man. We're here for you guys. This is the family affair. So thank you to all the gentlemen that joined us, all the ladies and gentlemen at home that joined us. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Flyers kick some ass tomorrow. And as always, Colors!